my friends. Welcome back to episode 7. Wow, we're already on episode 7, and he needs no introduction. Wow, I just noticed your little guy is like bouncing a little bit. That's cute. But anyway, guys, it's CHILEMEX. If you don't know who CHILEMEX is, then you've never watched my stream before. I think literally, it's always funny, right? The people that join the stream, they're there for like 10 seconds, and then they hear CHILEMEX, and they're like, I really like that, Raichu, that you say CHILEMEX. And
That's
so
usually how it goes.
I think it's probably virtually impossible for someone to not be familiar with CHILEMEX if they've ever even watched one singular stream. I feel like it's too straightforward. But anyway, hello CHILEMEX. Thank you for joining us.
Hi.
On
Hello. Thank
the
you for
podcast
having
this
me.
week.
Thank you very
Yes.
much. I'm quite extremely honored to be here, and yeah, I was waiting for my time to say hello, but then I started laughing because the situation was just kind of funny.
It's
so,
just
yeah,
funny. I mean, that's kind of your life in a nutshell. You know, before we get into any questions, like you just, one day, many years ago, and you can tell us your origin story. But I mean, one day, many years ago, I guess I don't know. So Valorant was like kind of what tempted you to click on my stream, right? Like you were like, oh, I like Valorant. Okay. So,
yeah, it was mostly like me not knowing what to do, you playing Valorant. It was June
like, oh, I'm
2020, so
curious.
the game had just happened. So I was like, yeah, sure, let's watch this person that I've been following on Twitter for a while, and they're playing Valorant, so why not? And the rest is history,
And
That's
now
how we
you're a
find ourselves
celebrity.
here.
Now you are easily the most famous name to come out of the Raichu stream. Like if there was like a Raichu con, you would be the guest of honor, like 100%. I mean, I think your panel would have like hours of waiting. The lines would be out the door. People would be paying for their meet and greets with CHILEMEX.
That's an overstatement, but
but you are an icon in our community, CHILEMEX. So I hope that it's been a positive experience for you these last 4.5 years plus of being around.
I've been here for a while. That's true, and to be honest, I'm at the point where I don't really. This is gonna sound exaggerated, but I really don't remember how my life was before I became part of this community in such a big part. So, yeah, I mean, I do remember bits here and there, but it's definitely a whole new chapter.
I know. Well, it's been like, with COVID and everything, like before, like it's easy to kind of like forget what life was like before 2020. Yes. I feel like
that's true.
Definitely agree.
Yeah, and also, I've known you from before I even started watching the streams. Sure, before then we were just kind of
like a little message, Twitter, like like respond to a tweet, like oh cool art or something, or like that looks cool.
Yeah, but the streams were definitely the thing that brought us together and brought many other people together. So
and here we are. Well, I think an interesting question that I wanted to ask you before we get started, I think it would be, I don't know, I think people might like to have like an opinion from someone who's been here since the beginning, like how the vibe or how, I don't know, how anything, like what would you describe the early days in the stream like? I mean, obviously you were pretty much alone, like it was just you and maybe Leo and maybe Toshabi or maybe, one or two other random people at best, but I don't know, like what was the early days like? And you're just from someone as a viewer perspective, because I can give my perspective as a streamer, right? But like as a viewer, like what has I mean, I guess the simple answer of what has changed is like more people are there to talk to while you watch me play a game. But
no, but it may not seem like it, but I remember the early days very, very well. And like you said, yeah, there were definitely, obviously, a lot less people. And again, what brought me to join the first stream was just, curiosity / boredom, because I, saw you were live and I was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. And the first days and even just the first stream was just extremely chill, and just it had such a welcoming vibe, but not in the sense that you were like exaggerating the fact that that you're streaming and stuff. Like, just I joined, I somehow found the courage to say hi in chat, which is something I didn't used to do a whole lot. And you just acted like I was always there, and that was just extremely natural. And yeah, the first stream was Valorant, I remember that. But then I remember Monster Bash was one of the first things you streamed while I was there. There were, back then, of course, there were no Raichu models, no
crazy.
PNGs,
We just had a Dwayne
VTubers.
in the corner.
Yeah, we had Dwayne in the corner, exactly. And then there was Yoshi's Island, and like you said in chat, there were a few people. I remember, of course, Leo, the legendary Leo Otter. I remember Alpha. I remember Toshabi, of course, but not a lot more people. And that was just, it became a very common appointment for me to be there at like the usual times. Sooner than I realized, I was just there every Tuesday and Thursday, and it started to become routine. And then the Fall Guys streams started to happen because that became a lot bigger than
I found
everything else.
I found a game I was good at.
Very good at, extremely good at. And then I found myself being a mod out of nowhere. That was kind of funny because you just put this power on my head like a crown, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll take that. And I never had anything to say against that. But yeah, all of this to say that the main thing for me was just how welcoming the vibes were. Like, you were not acting like you were above anyone just because you were the streamer. You were actually chatting with your viewers and with your guests, because of course I remember like the Valorant stream was with Katsu, so that was obviously, there were more people involved, and it was just fine. It was nice to be there, to have some background to fill my days, and then it became a lot more like a fixed thing. And then Alone in the Dark happened, and all the other series that came after that, and then you obviously exploded in viewership because a lot of people started joining, and that's how we are here.
And now we're here.
Yeah. And another stream I remember very vividly is the Fortnite one with Leo. Like, you actually played Fortnite with Leo. That was, that's like an obscure stream, but that was very fun, and I remember that.
I think that was in 2020, maybe, huh? That was old.
It was one of the first ones I watched. So
I remember,
2020.
Leo and I were grinding out Fortnite in 2020. That was our thing. We had nothing else to do except play Fortnite.
It was a different time for sure. But
I know.
Yeah, that's like, you were really the first. So I know now this is gonna sound like I'm glorifying stuff or anything, but you were really the first streamer that I started following, like more like I
get what you mean. Regularly,
regularly. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Like, not even just every now and then, just every time that you streamed, I was there. So yeah.
And now you're an icon, a legend. Well, I mean, you have been for many years, but even more. Your fame grows every year until this year, where we had like the greatest birthday party. That might be the greatest celebration we've ever had in Raichu stream. I mean, no, Lord Millenor's birthday in 2021, that was pretty lit. But I guess
epic.
I guess the most epic not streamed event we've probably ever had, in my opinion. Anyway, it was pretty. It was pretty damn cool. So
it was absolutely lots of fun. You know me. I don't.
He's a shy boy. He doesn't want the attention. But we say we don't want the attention, but everyone secretly likes attention and being praised. It feels good, So it's okay.
I mean, the thing with me and birthdays, like we don't get along very well, especially lately. But it was obviously a lovely celebration. Probably the most fun I've had for my birthday in the last few years. So
it was a good time.
That was.
I'm glad we were able to do something special. Yeah, and then you got to watch Night at the Gates of Hell, which was.
It was a good game. It was fun. It was entertaining.
I think the idea that you like have to pick up those knives to get kind of like an extra life, I think is a really cool like game mechanic. Like, I think that's a really neat thing. I think the game in some areas it was really good. And then in some, like the prison level, I think it was just a little meh. Which I think at some points they tried to do too much in like a, like it's a silly game. Like it doesn't have to be like a what do you call it? Like a blockbuster. Like what do you call those? Like the AAA, like a AAA title.
AAA,
like they're trying to do like this like magnificent like puzzle world and all this stuff. Like the charm from the game is just from being like a silly looking game. Like those cut scenes, oh my god, with the sucking on the titties and stuff. Like like they killed it in those areas. Like those were my favorite parts of the game. But I don't know. Some parts were a bit tedious, but I think the heart of the game was the heart was there. I liked the heart.
Yeah, no, the feeling of the game itself was exactly what I was hoping to get. Like that old style ish horror, like very classic, but also very silly, and yeah, it was super enjoyable.
So, what do you think is your favorite of those that we've done for your birthday?
Oof.
I mean, Babysitter Bloodbath, I think, might have been the best entertainment in terms of like the stream, but I don't know if it's my favorite of the games. I really liked the Bloodwash one last year. That was really cool.
Bloodwash was very good. Like, it's probably the one I feel like I managed to get the least from. Like, not that it was bad, but like the experience itself.
Yeah.
Like, sure, I was there for the stream, but if you asked me to like summarize what was happening in Bloodwash,
I was just hanging out at the freaking laundromat. That's all I remember. I was there, and then there was a creepy dude, and
exactly. While with the Babysitter Bloodbath, I remember that I was the one to actually suggest the game itself, because I had memories of it. Like, I didn't play it myself, but I watched a lot of funny videos around it back in my younger years. And I always found it hilarious. So seeing it played by you was extremely entertaining, and we got a lot of memes out of it. We got the Lord Billanor, we got Lee Otter as
Linda
Otter
as the babysitter. Linda Otter and what was that? Mark, I think their name was
exactly,
Mark CHILEMEX.
Yeah, and it was also like a tedious game as well, like, because despite me knowing it, we got
the
stuck
end part
on a
was
couple
rough.
of points.
Oh god.
But I really like the atmosphere of Babysitter Bloodbath, mostly because it also reminds me of Halloween. Like, you're a babysitter and there's a killer on the loose. Oh no.
Yeah.
It's common vibes, but yeah, that's probably the one I still like the most to this day.
I think so too. Yep, I agree. And if you guys have never seen that, it's on my YouTube, so you can go watch it. It was. I think, I'm biased, but I think it was really, really funny. So we had a good time.
I agree.
Yeah.
Do that. Go watch it if you haven't. It's a lot of fun.
And be prepared for CHILEMEX's birthday next year, where we'll be playing another game, guys. You're only, let's see, 353 days away. Hooray!
Oh, how did you make that calculation so quickly?
I did 365 minus 12. I'm a good mathematician. Well, because 12 days, the 26th, and then we're on the 7th, so that's 12 days, so...
in the time you calculated that, I was still thinking if October has 30 or 31 days. So that says a lot.
Well, I guess in October's easy to remember because Halloween is on the 31st. But I guess maybe in other countries it's not as big of a thing like the people think of it like immediately. I don't know. I mean, how big is Halloween in Italy?
It's becoming bigger lately, but
I feel like it's growing in a lot of places. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it obviously originated more in America. So yeah, but I like Halloween.
Halloween is so great.
Time.
And I like that we have so many great traditions in October. We have like our Alone in the Dark, but we also have your birthday like game that we do. And then, so we have like at least like 4 very special streams. And then, all horror games are fun. So we have like other stuff to have fun as well. But we have like at least 4 that we know are like absolute bangers minimum.
Yes, and with Alone in the Dark this year, like you managed to do an actual achievement, which playing each of them like in a single session. Like you obviously did that already with the first game in the past.
Yeah.
And the second one.
Second is the longest. Yeah, second is the hardest one to do, to be honest. So
exactly.
And see, I'm training to speedrun them. I think we talked about that. So like I'm working on my speedruns, so I think it's going to be funny in the future when we do them, because I'm going to be like thinking about the speedrun strats, and then I'm gonna be like, Raichu, you have to do it the slow way because you have to talk about the game and help everyone
You gotta
understand.
show all the funny deaths.
Yeah, exactly.
Falling through the creek in the floor.
Yeah,
That's always funny.
I could beat the game so much faster if I didn't read every single book, so that you guys could get all the lore and fall through everything, like in Alone in the Dark 2, where you jump off and you go, whoa!
Whoa.
Like you have to do that.
That's so funny. You can't miss out on that.
You got to, yeah.
Always the funniest.
I just really love it though. It's so funny. There's like 90% like of people in our stream, they've all seen it, so it's like whatever, right? But then like there's a few people like this year it was Game Orca, just like what the F is this game? What is going on? What the hell is this? And I just love every year like one or like maybe a couple new people get like the lore and then they're hooked. Like for the next year, then it's like they're excited and like it's just like you're on the bus and then you just like bring someone else on it. You're like ready. All right. So next year they're in the know. They know what's gonna. They're excited.
It was honestly super funny to see this year's like I say Game Orca's reactions because he was the
star chatter,
who provided the most genuine reactions. But in general, it's always funny to see people's reactions to this games.
Yeah, it is such an experience for sure. Yeah, just like seeing people's thoughts, and I don't know. I mean, that's for me. That's part of the reason why I wanted to stream was like being able to share things. Like I'm pretty sure you and most of the people would never have gotten to see. I mean, maybe you would, but like most people probably wouldn't get to see like Alone in the Dark or like you said, Monster Bash, stuff like that. Like odds are they may have never ever got to experience it. So it's fun to be able to just be like, yo, watch this silly game that means a lot to me and just like let's all laugh together, like just have a good time.
Yeah, it's what streaming is all about. Because like while Alone in the Dark may not be the most obscure thing there is, I definitely wouldn't have watched or even less played it myself if it wasn't for you, and it was extremely fun to discover it like that. So
and I think that'll continue to like be the case more and more, like as we move on in time, like it'll be younger people, and like there are people that are born like many years after Alone in the Dark was like already dead and buried in the ground, and no one ever thought about Alone in the Dark again.
Yeah, you gotta keep the legacy going.
We'll keep it alive, and hopefully when I have my trilogy speedrun at Games Done Quick, then it can be a whole new generation, like hundreds of thousands of people loving Alone in the Dark.
It's gonna happen.
Can you imagine when we have like 500 or 1,000 viewers watching Alone in the Dark every October with us?
Oh, I'm gonna personally advertise this thing to make it happen.
Amazing.
Just you watch.
I'm excited. Well, I wanted to circle back. You made a comment earlier about like, just kind of like feeling like welcome in the stream, and like, I guess that's, I mean, that it was a good like foundation for us, like, because all of those original people, I think, felt super welcome, and like we were just like a small little tight knit community, and we still are. It's always funny to me because other streamers will tell me like, I've never seen so many like a chat where like everyone that's talking is like a VIP, and we really do. It's like we have like the locked in viewers, like period, like, and our people that are regulars, and I guess a lot of it ties to having a consistent schedule, which is like, like you said, you were able to just start watching at the same time every week, and it makes it easier. And that's what I always preach to new streamers. Like, if you want to start streaming, like a good thing to start with is a consistent schedule, because it's easy, just like, I guess not as much these days because people watch streaming and stuff, but like back in the day, it'd be like, oh, every Sunday at 6 p.m. is like the new Walking Dead episode, or like the new episode of a show. So it's like, it's the same thing. Like, we're all like used to having like, at this time on this day, we do this thing, and it becomes routine. So yeah, and it's like, and that's, part of the reason why I'm very adamant that I don't cancel streams. Like, even if I'm sick or even if something comes up, like, I don't cancel streams, because it's like people are setting time aside in their week. And like, if I cancel the stream like an hour before you were planning your whole night around watching my stream, well, I just fucked you over. So that's like, and people always comment and they're like, oh, this makes it seem like a job, but like, it's not. It's just like, it's being mindful of people's time and their feelings, and like wanting to be there. And it's like, again, like you mentioned, like I don't consider myself above anyone. Like everyone, like I'm super excited like every week. I think it's so cool that like minimum twice a week, every week, I get to hang out with you and everyone. And it's like, because like there's so many cool people in your life, right, that you probably don't talk to as often as you'd like because life is busy.
Yes.
So I really cherish the fact that like no matter what, I know every Tuesday and Thursday, like obviously there's exceptions. Sometimes you might be busy or like Yasha or whoever might be busy, but like most of the time it's guaranteed that twice a week I'm going to get to hang out for a couple hours with like people that I think are really cool. And that's the nice thing, like that we have our community and like it's just like we're all equals. Like we all get on calls, like play Among Us, and we're all just equals, or we watch a movie and whatever. Speaking of which, we need to. I was trying to talk to Kel about we need to schedule something for November, maybe our community event of the month, so we can look at your schedule and see what works. But
definitely, we can find easily some time for another event. Absolutely,
let's do it. But
no, like it really comes to like the starting point, like you said, is having the fixed schedule with some people can do it, some people can't, but you've always been extremely like accurate with that, and it definitely helped because like nowadays when it's a Tuesday or Thursday and you don't stream, even if you obviously say that with wide advance, I'm like, well, that feels kind of weird. like this week here.
It is a weird week, and again with the set schedule, I don't think you weren't there. Oh, when I started my stream on Sunday, like 100 people were there, like, what? You're streaming? And I was like, guys, I posted the schedule like earlier in the week to tell everyone. But it's just like everyone's instincts is like, it's Sunday, right? She's not streaming. But then like like that, they're just like so used to the set schedule. But.
It's they like don't remember when the Sunday streams were.
Yeah. I threw it back that same time that I used to do my Sunday streams too. Which, by the way, that was so freaking fun. So I kind of want to do more Sunday streams. I might do it more often. We'll see. So I apologize for keeping you up late on that day, though. I know you had a long day.
It was more than worth it. I only managed to be there for like the ending of it because of time.
Yeah, well, you got to see the booty cheek creek clapper or whatever it's called. Dear God,
that was that was not what I expected from that game, but I respect it. I respect the struggle.
I conned myself into it. I freaking just clicked it to be funny, and then it's like, here's a new game, and I'm like, oh no, I have to play it now.
A whole new game with gay people and butt cheeks.
That was so brutal. That ending part was so stressful. Oh golly. Oh my god!
Such a dramatic ending. Oh god!
But
I'm choking.
Yeah, no, I'm happy though that we, it's good that I don't know. I mean, I'm sure every streamer thinks like my community is like the most tight knit community, but I feel like we really do have such a tight knit community of like people that like. And something else I want to point out, you mentioned you may kind of like said, I think something to the effect of like you were the first streamer I started watching regularly, but like I'm very honored. There's a lot of people that watch my streams that don't watch any other streams, hardly, if any. And I mean, I won't lie. I know you're one of them, CHILEMEX. I mean, it's okay. Yeah. We can say it. You don't watch a whole lot of other streams, but like
I don't.
I'm very flattered that like there's a lot of people that don't watch a lot of streams, but they do come out. There are people that watch like every stream. Like Yasha watches like every person in the entire world stream. Very, very nice person.
They do that.
Yeah, very nice person. But like then there's like people who don't watch like hardly any other streams, and so I'm very flattered that people who maybe it's not necessarily their preferred, because some people just like watching streams. Like Yasha really likes watching streams, so he watches everyone's streams. But like for some people don't necessarily. I wouldn't say they don't like watching streams, but it's not like their main medium of like watching media. So they don't watch a whole lot, but they really enjoy watching mine. So yeah, it's very flattering that like people who, it's not their main thing, but they still like to come hang out. And I guess for us too, it's more of like a hangout than anything. Because we're all talking. It's not like you're watching a show. It's it's interactive. I read every comment. We all chat. We have our little memes. We watch clips from people. We share funny stories at Leo being British and like dumb ass things like that. Like we just do whatever. Like we're just hanging out. It's literally, and that's why it's so easy. Like when we do transition to like a like a call or like a hangout, like our weekend events and stuff. Like it feels the same. Like we're all just like,
it feels natural.
We're all just like shit posting, but on voice, saying stupid things and talking about Kelmori's writing freaking poems in our call and like
poems that end up getting printed and framed.
Don't you worry, I got a copy for you, brother.
Thank you.
I got 3, and I'm ready to get them signed by Kelmori. I'm so
I'll
excited.
be waiting to pick it up.
But it's just nice, yeah.
And like, normally, like you said, some people just don't watch a lot of streams, and in my case, if I open my Twitch page to see who's live, it's usually just out of boredom. And I don't mean it in a bad way, but like, I don't watch streams to fill my day. It's really just something I do if I don't have anything else to do. Yeah, but this is obviously the exception, because I mean, even if it happened in the same way back in 2020, because I was bored and you were live, and I was like, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah.
It definitely, like, something changed, something clicked, and that's why I'm there at every possible opportunity now, because
that's why Gentleman CHILEMEX sends me a voice message every time he's going to be late to the stream, and I'm just like, there's CHILEMEX voice message. Oh, he's going to tell me he's going to be late today.
And even then, I don't do it because it's like a chore to me. Like you said, some people say that it feels like a job if you do it like that. No, I just do it because it's something I truly care about. And obviously life happens, and if I'm late, it's not my fault.
And it is nice because like for me, again, it's like we're such a tight-knit community. Like oftentimes I start my stream and I'm like, okay, I need to tell CHILEMEX's story, or I need to tell Leo this story. So if you tell me you're late, I'm like, okay, because otherwise I might be like waiting and like I'm gonna try to tell you this story, but I know I have a story I want to tell. But I want you to hear it, so I'm like, okay, I'll wait until CHILEMEX gets here. So he said he's gonna be late today, so I'll tell the story later, for things like that. And it's just, I mean, it's like I'm a big I don't know. I was gonna say I'm a big thinker. I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but like I'm thinking about what things I want to share with you guys, because we're all friends, and it's not like we don't have, there's no freaking. What do you call that thing when like the little like viewer is obsessed with the streamer? When they have like some kind of relationship, it's like a blank relationship. When like someone, you know what I mean, right? What is that freaking term called? You know what I mean, though.
Parasocial
relationship. Yeah, like we don't have that at all, because like we're all friends, and like like everyone in the chat is like my friend pretty much. So it's not, there's no that's why I want to share stories. It's not like a dude like speaking down, like telling stories. It's like I'm with my boys, like, yo, let's tell some stories. Let me tell you all what's happening in my life this week. And go ahead.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, like, in the same thing with the podcast. It's like an opportunity to like talk about life and stuff, and just like talk to you guys and everyone. So yeah.
No, I really feel like obviously we're talking about internet space, and like it's no secret that your community is made almost entirely by furries, and the furry community is a big one, obviously. So you can say I'm part of the furry community. That doesn't mean every furry in the world, because that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
But within the furry community, that's like your community is 100% the only one that I consider like the closest one to me, if that makes sense. Like I have another group of online friends that have nothing to do with furries, but I've known them for like more than 10 years, so that's a completely separate thing. But your community is, like, ever since I started calling myself a furry openly,
our community,
it's our community. Okay, yeah. I mean, it revolves around you, but I'll give you that.
I gotcha.
It's definitely the one that I consider where the one where my friends are. And
of course,
it's really not something I say lightly, because I can say I know a lot of people online, but the people within this community are the ones that I
it's like your group
friends.
Yeah
Exactly.
Yep.
So
that's
very huge.
I definitely feel it. I mean, I know a lot of people, and I'm even friends with a lot of people that are outside of this community, but like as far as like a group, I don't particularly have another group that I would say I'm a part of, other than this group. And I guess and the challenge is always like there's always these like adjacent communities where it's like half of our people and maybe some other people sprinkled in. Like I hang out in like Game Workers community, which is like a lot of our people and a few of their people, and then like Pocats and like there's all these different communities that are a lot of us are adjacent, because a lot of these communities, again, I'm not trying to let's think of how to phrase this, but like a lot of people got into streaming around that time, like Pocat, Sushi, and like those huge streamers now, because they watched my stream and they're like, oh, I want to do that too. And like, so these huge communities have sprouted out, and but there's still a lot of holdover from us, because those people at one time were just little Raichu stream viewers. You remember when Sushi Fur was a funny little chatter in the Raichu stream, and now look at
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember I was like, not to brag or anything, but I was there during one of Sushi's very first streams. He was playing the pizza making simulator.
Oh yeah, he made you. I remember.
Yes, they had like 10 viewers at 20 at most, and now they have like
a bajillion.
A lot more, a bajillion. So not to brag, but and you're too modest to say it, so I'll say it for you. But a lot of people, like, you have no idea. You do have an idea, but you have no idea how many people started streaming because of you, or like because they saw how much fun you were having with it, and said like, I want to try that too.
Absolutely.
And that includes big streamers like Pocat and Sushi, and also smaller ones like myself.
There's so many cool people. I'm always amazed. Yasha always gives me credit for inspiring him to stream. Like all these really, and like you said, big and small, just like really talented people who, again, my motto is, or like, I don't know if motto is the right word, but like my philosophy on life is like, I'm all about share. You talked about it in the voice message you sent me about the substance, which we'll talk about the substance later. But yes. I love sharing. Like when I know a cool person or like a talented person, like I'm all about like, and I'm not gonna say it, but a lot of furries are more introverted, shy a little bit, so they're not really necessarily. It was really funny. You weren't there, but like you probably seen him in the stream before. Mid-tier Wolf, have you seen him in my stream? Yeah, so he was on I was on Garflin's stream, which you might have seen their name before too. I was guest hosting on their stream. Mid-tier Wolf was there, and so Garflin's like, all right, do an introduction, guys. And Mid-tier, he's like a shy, kind of quiet guy, and he's like, I'm not going to talk about myself. Like, hell no. And I'm like, all right, guys, well, let me tell you about Mid-tier Wolf. And I went into like a 10-minute diatribe about his life. And so, that's how it is. Like when I see like people are shy, they don't want to talk about themselves. So that's where I can come in and talk about them. And I honestly, like when he said he didn't want to talk, I was like, oh brother, let me talk.
It's my time.
You saw you
just rubbing your hands like
you saw it on the freaking podcast. I spent like half the stream like, King doesn't want us to talk about himself in the podcast. All right, let me step in here, brother. I got this.
You're very good at that.
And I get so much joy from that. I really have so much joy in being like just like sharing. Like, so there's so many cool people and so many things that make them cool, and like all these things, and it's just like a joy for me to be able to like to say like, yo, like you're a cool person. Here's another cool person. Like smash them together. Like smash the faces together. Like, all right, now you know each other. Yeah, like I don't know, that's just like one of my great joys in life, and that's one great thing about streaming that I've been able to do. We started out CHILEMEX with you when I was just like, yo guys, meet this guy named CHILEMEX, and then like now you're like taking over the world. Now everyone knows you, but there was a time when no one knew who CHILEMEX. I don't know, that sounds bad. No one knew who he was.
No, I know what you mean. And
but now true, you go to cons, dude, and people scream your name that you don't even know. You probably join like you don't join a lot of random streams, but like if you did, I'm sure, because like I join random streams that I don't join, and people type to me in all caps CHILEMEX, and I'm like, wow, like you know that?
So surreal.
It's crazy, but I love it so much. It's so great.
It is admittedly super funny. Like, and also the thing about screaming my name in public, like at cons, like I know it sounds like a funny bit and an exaggeration, but that has literally happened twice.
I know.
And at least twice in 2 different cons, and I was like, wow, this is an actual cultural thing now.
It is. The world knows it. It is literally, it might be, it's right there with like gamer, like those are like the top 2 most famous things, and I'm not even sure which one is the most, because CHILEMEX is pretty dang famous. So
gamer is untouchable.
I apologize when I see you at a con in the future, and no matter where we are in the crowded world, I am going to scream CHILEMEX, and it's going to be
in the middle of a crowded airport.
I don't even care. It's going to be very, very awkward, because I'm a loud, awkward, obnoxious. It was really funny. I was like with my family this week, and like I'm a loud guy, and I just like I was kind of like aware. I guess when I'm with normal people, I'm kind of aware of it, because like we were in like this like resort, like hotel casino place in Vegas, and like I was just being my loud self, and I don't even remember what I said. I just said something loudly, and like a couple people turned and looked at me, and I was like, yeah, I'm kind of a loud ass, I'm sorry. But you know, it happens. It's just me.
If they can't accept it, that's their fault.
That's, you know what, life is, I don't know, I have a lot of joy for life, so I'm very loud and excited, and there's like, I don't know, I talk about that a lot as well, but it's like, I don't know, for me, I have trouble not being excited about life, because there's so many cool people, and like legitimately, like I'm hanging out with you right now, and then like in a few days, like we'll be back on the stream, and there will be like 30 or 40 like really like of the coolest people around, like that I can just talk to and hang out with. Yep. Like that's freaking awesome. So
I agree.
It's very exciting, and you never know, like, and that's the thing too on Twitch, like, who knows, like someone else like really cool could just randomly come into chat, and then like they become part of our community, and like there's always like a new cool person coming in, and it's like, you know, it's exciting.
Absolutely.
Like we, and you know, we I think the most interesting thing is like like sure, there are some people who maybe like were regulars at one point but not as much anymore, but I think like our like retention, like our regular viewer retention is like so high. Like all the people from back in the day that watched regularly still are there almost every stream. And like
that's true.
Like we like our people are like, they're loyal, like we're all friends, we hang out, it's like a part of all of our lives. So yeah, I don't know, I just think it's really cool. Kind of a long tangent I went on there, but
no, it's I completely agree, and I think it's lovely to see both the permanence of people who were there from the start.
Yep.
And again, I'm not bragging myself here, but like there's me, there's Leo, there's Alpha, there's Kel,
Havoc,
and Havoc, of course. And then on the other hand, you have these extremely cool people that may have joined a lot more recently, but they seem like they've been there forever. And I'm gonna drop names and make examples here, because the shining example here is Game Orca. And
I literally been on his stream. I collabed with him 3 times in the last 7 days. Okay. Shit.
Yeah, and yet like he's been on your stream for like what, a couple months?
Yeah,
a little more maybe. Yep. And I'm not just saying this because, you know, we have found out that we have a lot of favorite games in common and Overwatch mains in common.
And he's got some, and he's got some good questions for you today. Let me tell you, you better be excited.
But yeah, I just think he's the coolest dude, and he's like, he's part of the community now, and it feels like he's always been there. So
I think that's, and you know, if I can pat myself on the back, like I think that's definitely a strength of mine, is like people can feel welcome very quickly, like within a couple streams, like they're there, like they're no longer outsiders. Like even like one stream, I feel like you chat for a little bit and you become like a part of you become a part, especially if you join the Discord and stuff. Like that's even the plus. Like you join the Discord, like we, you know, again, like I feel very fortunate. We have an active Discord. Like there's always stuff going on, and like I see other streamers' Discords where it's kind of like not, people aren't really chatting per se. They're not necessarily but they're not necessarily friends. You know, like they don't have like the viewers aren't like bonding to the level, I feel like, at least in my opinion, that a lot of our viewers that bond at, where you actually want to have conversations with each other in Discord. Like we're like, I know I ping you a lot with stupid ass memes and stuff, like, and we ping Kel with stuff, and like we I think it's so cute. Like everyone like will be pinging each other with memes, and like everyone's commenting on stuff and having conversations, and it's like we can all we all bond like during the streams. Like we know we'll be able to hang out for those times, but like then we also just kind of hang out as friends. Like there's no, streamer and viewers. It's just like all of us are friends, which is cool, I think.
Yeah, no, that's great. And this is also like an open invitation slash like, statement from me. Like, always send me the memes that you think I might enjoy and ping me, because that's like, some people may be like, oh, I don't want to ping him because that's no, just do it, because it's always the funniest thing. And every time that I've been pinged on a random Kingdom Hearts meme, I've laughed my ass off.
Yeah,
so
the worst case is like you don't really care about it that much, like whatever, that's like nothing lost. Or the best case is like it's very, very funny and you're laughing and it's like your favorite thing. So like, yeah, there's nothing to lose, basically.
Exactly.
It's just like the Raichu, you know how I talk about like reach out to someone and try to like talk to them, like there's nothing to lose. It's the same thing. You can bug CHILEMEX just by pinging him on Discord, and there you go.
Any platform that
any platform, Twitter. Yep, absolutely.
No, that's really part of this community, one of the strongest parts of this little community. I say little, but it's not even that little anymore, but you know what I mean.
I get what you mean. Yep. No. And like going back to that point, like I think it's like, for me, I've always like I think a big reason why like the newer people can bond with the older people just like at the snap of the fingers, like they're bonding. I think like for me, it's always been like I don't know, I never liked the idea that like just because you know someone longer, like they're more important. You know what I mean? Like intrinsically, like I know people who like kind of consider like, oh, like I've known them longer, so they have more value. But like someone can come into your life and like make a big difference, like, right away. Absolutely. And so to say that like intrinsically, like, oh, CHILEMEX and Kel and Havoc are more valuable than like Game Orca, we'll use an example, like because they've been here longer, like that's not the case. Like you can make a good impact on the community even if you've been here a week, 2 weeks. Like by being a part of the community, you're making as much of a difference as anyone can make. I mean, to some extent, right? We can say like, oh, like the mods, like CHILEMEX and Yasha are like doing work on the stream, so like sure that, but like just in general of like being a viewer or like someone like as a part of the community, like everyone is like, no one is better than anyone else, like in terms of like, oh, they've been here longer and oh, I can't be as valuable because I'm new. Like you can, like if you're there and you're having a good time and your people are enjoying your company, like you're just as valuable as anyone. That's freaking awesome.
Exactly. Yeah, that's just it's really one of the main parts of being part of this community, and it's I've said it already before, but it's just making everyone feel like they have a place where they can chat, and just find some people to hang out with and talk about anything.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, also watch someone play a funny video game, which is, at this point for me, like the streams themselves, obviously they're very fun.
Yeah.
I don't want to make it sound like they're any less important than anything.
The game doesn't matter. It's more hanging out.
Yeah.
And exactly. and I totally relate, because I even told Game Orca, because I watched a lot of his streams at night. They're like my comfort before bed stream, because his stream starts at they did start at 9:30, but the time changed. Now they start at 8:30. But like, I told him like legitimately half the time I don't even really know what he's playing. Like sometimes there's a few, like he played Spooky's House of Jump Scares where I was on it. That was great. But like half the time I'm literally, well, I guess part of it too is like, I don't know about you. I don't know. I think you're mostly on your computer when you watch mine, but like for his, like I watch his in bed because they're like at my bedtime. So like I'm watching it from my phone. So most of the time I just have the chat open and like I'm listening to him, but I'm not actually, I have no freaking idea what's going on in the game, dude. I have no idea what's going on in the game. I'm just in chat, being a little gremlin, like hanging out with people and like, and that's like the fun part. And like going back to it again, like I was just thinking about like your birthday event. Like we had like the old, like we had like the perfect mesh of like there was new people like Game Orca, Otterly, like Big O, and they were hanging out and like meshed just with like you, me, Kel, Kato, like the true like super old OGs. And it's just like, like everyone is just like people that have never really been on our calls. And I don't know about you, like I don't think there was like a single second of like any awkwardness or like anyone didn't like, we were all talking like we've all been best friends for like 1,000 years. even the people that have never really been in the calls with us before.
Exactly. Yeah, we've played freaking Gartic Phone, which is something you normally only do with people you know
that you know really
with,
well. Yeah,
it felt so natural.
Yeah, and we did good in that Gartic Phone. Let me tell you, that was clean. That was some
there
good
are
stuff.
Some glorious things that came out of there, but yeah, like even just the fact that some people who only knew me / like my name for a couple of months at most just showed up to what was my birthday event.
Exactly.
Just made me super happy, because even if it was just an excuse to have a little hangout, they just had a good time, and I'm glad they did.
It's great.
And just to reconnect to the part about the stream game not being like the main draw, that doesn't mean that I was not like ecstatic out of my brains when you played Kingdom Hearts. That's not,
that's an exception.
Let's make that very clear.
That's an exception. Yeah, I agree. No, trust me. If Game Market plays freaking Chrono Trigger, I will be glued to the freaking television.
Exactly.
But it doesn't matter per se. It's not a deal breaker, but it's a bonus when it's something you really like.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Kingdom Hearts stream's coming back next week, baby.
Oh shit! Oh my god, you're going to join? No, wait, you were.
So
yeah, no, you're.
I'm
you're
at the Tarzan land. Yeah, and everyone tells me it's very confusing or something. I don't know. So.
Don't worry, we'll help you.
I already got lost at Alice in Wonderland, so
Yeah,
that was a nightmare.
On the boss
I did do good at that, but I did very bad at choosing the correct present. Which, by the way, I have to say, I watched that clip a lot because it's kind of iconic. I watched it a lot, and to be fair, I did say I'm getting good vibes from this box, and that was the box where my friends were. I think I didn't understand what I was trying to do with the boxes. Yeah, okay, this is good vibes. I'll pick this one. Well, Raichu, you're not supposed to pick the box with the good vibes, dum-dum.
Oh, you were just looking for your friends.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I thought I would break him out of jail. I mean, seems like a good thing, right? Come on.
And then you also didn't know that you could actually break them out of jail. No. But that's fine. A solo fight, just
I think someone else. I think like Kel or someone in the chat said like they didn't know you could do that either. Someone in the chat said that. I think so. Now everyone knows.
That's a small parenthesis, but that's one of the funniest things about Kingdom Hearts 1. It's one of those games that each time you play it, you find out something new about it, and that's something that still hits me nowadays. But I'm not gonna start talking about.
I think that's really cool, and like there's multiple ways to play the game. Like I beat the boss just fine without my friends, but like also like now if I played it again, I'd be like, oh, let me get my friends out, like.
Yeah.
So what if I didn't choose would I not fight that fight at all if I chose any other box?
Oh no, you would have fought it anyway, but like
they're broken out. My friends are free. Okay.
Yeah, in one of the boxes you find just a random Heartless, and the queen is all like, "Oh, what is this?" And you try to explain yourself, but since she's like, the queen of hearts, she's like, "I don't care.
I got you.
I want to cut your head off," and that's
why someone said it's just like Chrono Trigger's trial, where no matter what, even if you do it right, you still lose. Okay.
Exactly, I got you. Yeah. You only have the advantage of having Donald and Goofy by your side from the start.
Yeah. But, don't you worry. You'll have plenty more time to talk about Kingdom Hearts today because we've got some good questions. Let me tell you. I know. Listen, like I said, you're going to be doing a lot of yapping. I've been working with you at the beginning part here, like sharing the yapping, because a lot of this is going to be your time to shine. Which we're going to get right into question 1, which is a question all for you because I already answered it. And I encourage you to answer this truthfully. You don't have to be nice. You can be mean. The question is from Pixel, and it says, I asked Raichu this already, and to be honest, his answer was kind of mid. Whoa! I didn't read that part. Whoa! I trust the CHILEMEX, though. What are your top 5 tales from the community?
Oh, shoot. Okay.
He wasn't ready. Right. Or was he?
Damn it. Okay. Top 5 tales from the community. Okay,
your own.
So my main motto in life, in my presence as a furry, as an appreciator of tales, is that all tales are beautiful. Even if you have like the small little bunny tail, like Lux, of course, is a bunny, so obviously that's the thing. Or like I don't know, rat tails, which are not the first kind of tales you think about, but they are tales. So like Mori, those are all beautiful tales. So I'm never gonna say or like tell anyone that they have an ugly tail, because that's just it doesn't make sense in my brain. Like if
Yeah.
you have a tail, that's already a
That's
good
freaking
thing.
awesome.
Exactly. With that said, I do have a personal preference for fluffy tails, and mostly like when I say big tails, big fluffy tails, I think sometimes people what's the word, like misunderstand that as in like huge oversized tails, and those are fun too, but that's not what I mean when I say big tails. When I say big tails, I mean my size of tails,
right?
Basically, which sounds very self
Indulgent.
like yeah, it's like, oh, I'm the best, but yeah, I gave myself my
you
favorite
gave
kind
yourself
of
the
tails.
pigtail, yeah.
Yeah, and if I had to choose some examples, obviously it would have to be the foxes of the community. First one that comes to mind is Gabe Brower, of course.
Oh yeah.
Even though Gabe's character is a bit of an exception, because he's not like, yeah, sure, he's a fox, but he has also the dragon form, like half dragon form, if I understand that well enough. And like, that's obviously a lovely tale. And who else do we have? Hold on, let me just make it. I'm gonna cheat because
yeah, he's got to go do some research. Pixel, give him a minute.
I'm gonna go through the list of people who are currently online in your server. That's
I think Kato has a pretty good tail.
Kato has a good tail.
See them at the top,
that's
a big,
a canine wolf tail that's like normal sized, and that's very respectable. We have, well, Lord Melanor is a good cat tail. They're different in the sense that they're not fluffy, of course, but they are very majestic and nice.
Yeah.
Bird tails are very valid too, and I'm thinking of Alpha right now because I see him in the list. Ara has a very good tail because he has a very interesting kind of character.
Yep.
Who else? And I know I'm very much not making a top 5 right now, so I might be giving a mid answer myself as well. So I'm sorry, Pixel, but I really find it difficult to find just one or even 2 or 3 favorite tales in the whole community.
I know, I struggled.
I will say, yeah, I will say that Red Pandas have excellent tails, and I'm only saying that now because I see King Panda in the list. But all the stripes and the fact that they,
they're
the patterns,
big and fluffy.
They are big and fluffy. Basically, if you have a big and fluffy tail, you're already like a 10 in my book. That's what I can say. But that's not to say that other kinds of tails are less interesting, or like I've seen extremely interesting concepts of tails that don't match with any species. Like I've seen tails with like mouths, which
tail moss, yeah,
yeah, exactly. Those are very interesting. Not something I would give myself or to my character, but they're very interesting. And yeah, but I don't feel like I can give like I can crown one person with
yourself.
Aside from myself. Although I will say there is one person that I have connected from the start with my appreciation of tales, and I mean back in 2020 when I joined this community, and they are still the one that every time I talk about tales in any shape or capacity, they're always, yes, it is. It is Flusbab, who also has a very good fish tail himself, but like he's the one that back in the day was also always like, yeah, man, tails are great, and this is a thing that's still valid nowadays. So I think in some sense, to answer this question in some way, I'd have to give it to Flus, just because of the sentimental bond that we have with tails.
You know who else's tail I like is Aaron's, and I only saw it because of he had, like, I'll show you this art that I looked at. I'll just send it to you on Telegram while we're talking here. But all I did was open up the Rye hoodies folder, and I was like oh, let's look at people's tails here, and then but like this art of Aaron, Like, I feel like it does a good, like, look how fluffy that is. Like, that is
yes.
unbelievable fluff.
Absolutely, yes. I
So
agree 100%.
let me
And also,
let me move this source. Let me just show chat what we're looking at, just so they can
yes, show
see.
them.
We're looking at this
Wow.
art, chat, just so you know. And CHILEMEX isn't on this source, so he's not here. But like, he's a ghost. Ooh, spooky. But yeah,
Ooh, hi.
there's a
Ooh, I'm
beautiful fluffy
speaking
tail.
from
All right, he's back. He's
speaking of
back,
Aaron.
guys. Don't worry.
Oh, hi.
The
You know,
ghost.
speaking of Aaron, I will just spend a few seconds saying that yeah, we were at EF last month. I mean,
Yep.
it wasn't last month. It was almost 2 months
2
ago
months.
by
Wow.
now. Yeah, wow, time flies. And he bought a tail while we were at EF,
He
and
did.
I have never been more proud of someone than in the moment when he walked to me and told me, Chili, I bought a tail. I almost cried because I was like, oh, Aaron, you're
He did the thing.
you're such a such an excellent purchase done in my presence, and you know it was very touching. And then there's there's a video circulating in our Telegram messages of us wagging our tails together. I don't think he
Aw.
has ever I don't think he's ever shared it publicly, but it is out there somewhere. So maybe one
Aw.
day you'll get to see it.
I hope so. Or in
Yes,
person at EF 2025.
you know it.
I'll
I
be
hope so.
ready. That's
Yeah.
I'm happy though that like it's very touching to me that like people who met through our community are able to like beyond like the memes we're saying of like people like yelling CHILEMEX, but like people actually able to like hang out that met through our community and like spend a lot of, I mean, because I'm pretty sure like you and Kato and Aaron, I don't know if there's anyone else that hung out like a lot from our community, but like I know you guys hung out a pretty good amount at EF this year,
Yeah,
I
the
think.
three of us.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're
so
basically together all of the time. I mean, me and Kato were together like pretty much all the time.
yeah,
Aaron was there like 90% of the time,
yeah,
and some other people here and there we
right.
did meet.
Yep.
But yeah, the three of us were definitely the core of the Raichu
Yeah.
community
And
at
that's so
EF.
cool. Yeah, like you and Kato knew each other obviously before this stream,
Mhm.
but like you guys wouldn't have probably met Aaron like
No,
most
definitely.
likely not. So I don't
Mhm.
know. It's nice that people are able to connect. Like I know like obviously people online have connected, like people that have like met in our community are like friends now. Like they talk
Mhm.
not just on the streams, like not just in the Discord, but like on like their friends like outside of like
Mhm.
me, and like anything I've done. But like it's
Mhm.
cool that people are able to meet in person also and like have a good time. So hopefully
Yeah.
I'm working hard on that LVFC this year, where hopefully a lot of
Oof.
people can meet.
I really hope so too.
Yeah,
I have some I have some work to do towards that. I'm
yeah.
really hoping to be there as well
Hope
because
to have you.
yes.
I think Kel is pretty locked in.
Oh
Kawa's pretty
shit.
locked in.
Oh my god.
There might be a pretty good handful. I've been spreading the word because it'd be cool to have it. It's a really fun con, and it's easy. And the good thing about Las Vegas is it's easy to fly to from a lot of different airports and stuff. Like even if you live in Europe, most of the place I think you can fly directly to Las Vegas, which is cool.
Directly? Oh
Well,
shit.
I mean, I don't know about your to be fair, but I know Leo flew like in direct, and it was only like 8 hours or 8 or 9 hours
Wow.
from the UK.
I really
So
need to do some research because
yeah,
I really want to be there.
that would be cool.
So,
That'd be great. I'm
yes.
sure everyone would be thrilled to yell CHILEMEX.
I mean, just the concept of meeting you, Kel, and Kawa in the same
Oh
room.
my
That's
gosh,
nice. So
iconic,
I'm sold.
iconic. Yeah, it would be great. So, but yeah, we're still working on it. There's still people. Hopefully, we can get a few people, a good handful of people
Join
from the
in. Yeah.
community. So
I hope
exciting,
so.
exciting times. But all right,
Absolutely.
are you happy with your tail answer? Do you want to move
Oh.
on to the next question? Are you
Oh,
are you
I
good with?
forgot
Are
we
you?
were talking about that.
Yeah. Do you feel
Yeah, I
confident?
mean,
You gave your number one, Floose.
I did, yes, and I apologize if this is not exactly a top 5, but first, I don't want to like classify people in that
Yeah,
way
that's
because
valid.
again, if I see a tail, I like it like
Yep.
straight up. I'm not gonna be like, that's a mid tail.
Yeah.
I don't think those words have ever come out of my mouth. So
You can appreciate all of them for their
yeah.
own things that make them special.
Yes, but I've also made some examples of tales I personally enjoy, so I hope Pixel is satisfied with his answer.
And if you're not
for the
Pixel,
most part.
suck it. Just kidding. But no, hopefully you enjoyed. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a very fair answer, and yeah. So all right, we'll move on to the next question, number 2 on our questions, and the form is loading very slowly. Okay, there we go. It's from Game Orca, and it's directed directly to you again. Okay, so he's being a little memester because I messaged him and I was like, hey, by the way, don't forget to get your questions in, because he sometimes forgets. But so I said, don't forget to get your questions in. I was like, don't forget, you can ask CHILEMEX this question, and then he just worded this exactly how I typed it to him. So, but you can answer this. Maybe not like an hour answer, but you know what? I want to hear your thoughts. The question is, CHILEMEX, what are your comprehensive thoughts on the Kingdom Hearts series as a whole?
Okay. How can you say not give a 1 hour answer and then ask this? No. I'll try to be relatively
I feel like if it was like individual games, you'd have more to say about them. But I feel like as a whole, it's easier to kind of just summarize like the things that you like about stuff. So anyway, go on.
Yeah. I think I can be relatively quick with that, and I don't want to spend too much time on the backstory of how I found out about Kingdom Hearts, because that's not the question. So.
Do it. Tell us.
No.
We need the whole story.
That was not the question. But just as a small thing, like just to give some context, the way I found out about Kingdom Hearts was extremely random, in the sense that I had no idea it existed, and the first game was gifted to me by my parents on my 7th birthday, I think. 7th or 6th, I keep forgetting. But, I was young, of course.
Yep.
And I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I booted up the game, and I was in this weird, like, the initial sequence of Kingdom Hearts 1. It's very weird. You don't know what's going on. And I still, like, even though it looked like the kind of game I would have dropped in, like, 1 hour because I didn't know what was going on, I just kept going. And then the stuff started to happen, and then of course Donald and Goofy start showing up, so you're like, oh wait, this is a Disney game, right? There's Disney characters here, and from there I was hooked. And not only because of the Disney aspect, because that was never really my main draw to the series, even though I do believe that Kingdom Hearts would not be the same without Disney. Because there's some people nowadays who say like, oh, Kingdom Hearts would be better without Disney, and I couldn't disagree more with a statement. But like, I was just hooked from the start, and I was a very young boy, and from there it was it just kept getting better, because I didn't play Chain of Memories from the start, but I played Kingdom Hearts 2 when it released. Then I played 358 Days Over 2. I played Dream Drop Distance, and I'm not gonna give you the whole timeline, but I was hooked from the start to the current state of Kingdom Hearts. And even though right nowadays I don't have like a lot of interest in towards how the series is going, because like all the mobile games don't really interest me, and Kingdom Hearts 4 isn't looking too, like, I'm not too hyped about that either. But that I don't know why I'm telling you this, because it's not answering the question.
It is. That's a part of the thoughts on the series.
Yeah, it is part of that, because like I think my general thoughts on the series is that obviously a big part of why I like it so much is because I grew up with it. Yeah. I don't know if I would like it so much if I started playing it at like 17 years old, or even slightly younger than that. It's mostly because I played it for the first time when I was 6 or 7, so it obviously holds a special place in my childhood heart, if we want to put it in a cheesy way. But I also think that like it's such an interesting concept to have this mostly like normal story. Like the story of Kingdom Hearts, all the memes aside, isn't super complicated or crazy, and it's not something you have never seen before. It's your general generic, I mean, anime story kind of stuff, but it has the Disney aspect thrown into it and implemented in it, and I think that's such a clever thing. Like, you have this series that has some very serious moments and some very serious just ways to deal with themes like friendship, obviously, but also like loss and fear and just, you know, growing up and all of this. But at the same time, you have Donald Duck. And I think that's just so funny. And all of this is packaged into a game that's just super fun to play in almost every single entry, because there's been multiple gameplay types in Kingdom Hearts, some better than others. Chain of Memories is not a great example of awesome gameplay, but I still love that game to death, for example. And I just think it's so interesting, and also the fact that it doesn't, like, you don't need to take it too seriously. And some people may argue that, you know, if you don't have to take it too seriously, then it's not a great game. And I don't know about that, because obviously a game with Donald Duck talking about Sephiroth is never gonna be too serious, but it's still so fun to just get this game and see it deal with these themes, but in a lighthearted way, and in a way that can also make you think a lot and make you grow attached to these characters that just, you know, you may have grown up with them, you may have just liked them a little bit, but they are there, and it's very difficult to explain. But like, it's a very specific case of a game that does so much with a very weird concept, but it works so well. And yeah, that's that's just to put it in a very quick way, to not go into a 1 hour deep analysis of it.
No, I like your analysis.
That's well, okay, yeah, so, that's I could say so much more, but I don't want to delve too much into Kingdom Hearts.
I mean, I think so, that's a good, like, you know, for me, right? Like, I never played the game as a kid. I played it like one time as a old, like an adult, but a young adult, and didn't super get into it. So like, I don't know. For me, I mean, I've told you guys pretty much, and I'm being very sincere here. Like, I've only played the game 2 times, and I had such an incredibly fun time both of those times. Like, so I think, I mean, I don't know. I guess it may be a more, I don't know if childish is the right word, but maybe something you can appreciate more, like playing your first time as a child. But like, we also are playing it in like in a lighthearted kind of, it's not like I'm sitting like with like it's raining outside, it's dark at night, I'm all alone, let me play this game by myself. Like, that's not the atmosphere. Like, we're all being silly and like having fun and not taking it too seriously. Like, we make jokes, you guys are just dying laughing at how stupid and bad I am at the game. Like, that's part of the, I'm just pushing a box and you guys are all giggling like dying laughing, and I'm just vibing out. Or you're telling me, all right, Raichu, this spell only goes so far, and then I immediately miss the entire universe. So I don't know. Like, I think that is a lot of the charm, that it is a silly game. You have to be able to laugh at the silly stuff, and you have to be able to laugh at yourself sometimes as well.
Oh, absolutely.
So I think, I mean, that's kind of my take on it. Like, I'm excited to see what's to come, but more than anything, like, I'm excited to play it with all of you guys. And I mean, I can say, like, I know, like, yeah, like you kind of said, like, don't take it too seriously, all this stuff, but I know, like, a lot of people are really invested in, like, the life lessons and, like, the stories that are told in these games, and, like, the things that come out about it. And like I can say, like, almost everyone I know that is super passionate about Kingdom Hearts are like some of the best, like people, like, without a better way to say it, like the best people I know, in terms of, like, they have really good character, and they're like people I would look up to and stuff like that. So like, I think, like, Kingdom Hearts is doing something right in the sense of, like, what it's, you know, for lack of a better way to say it, for like what, like, the kids who played this game, like the adults that they're growing up into, I guess maybe the kinds of people that like this type of game are just like, inherently good people. Like, and sorry if you don't like Kingdom Hearts, I guess you're a bad person, guys. So if you're listening to this and you hate Kingdom Hearts, then but no, like legitimately, like that's kind of the reason I wanted to finally try it, was like, let me, like, all of these really like people that I would say are like the highest quality humans, like that are really good people, love Kingdom Hearts. So like let me see what it's about. And I mean, I'm only two episodes in. I'm about 5 hours into the game, maybe total max. And I gotta say, like, I get it. Like, I'm getting it. I'm feeling things. Like, I see the meme. I tell you all the time, I see the memes, and I'm like, I'm feeling things like from the memes I'm seeing on Twitter and stuff for Kingdom Hearts, and like, so.
And you're only at the first game,
and
so
I'm at the beginning of the first game. Yeah, listen. I'll tell you, my biggest worry is like trying to figure out how, without scheduling like a whole year of just playing nothing but Kingdom Hearts, like how I'm going to start getting through, because the games are long. Like, this is going to be a long ass series, even this first game. And so I'm trying to figure out, and I'll be honest, like, it's been very hard for me to go these few weeks without playing it, because I've been itching to play it. So like, I know I don't want to, and I mean, this is just me, like, I don't like to be too repetitive, so I don't want to go like the whole year of 2025 only playing Kingdom Hearts, but like, shit, there's a lot of Kingdom Hearts to be played, guys. Like, I gotta get into it. So I don't know, maybe we'll play a couple other games, and then I think I'm supposed to do Chain of Memory second, from what I heard.
Yeah, yes.
I think I'm supposed to do that, and then Kingdom Hearts 2. So maybe, I don't know, probably like a couple Kingdom Hearts games a year is probably like a reasonable amount to do, because they're kind of long.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll try to do Chain of Memories early-ish in the year, and then try to do Kingdom Hearts 2 later-ish in the year. And I don't know, see how it goes. So, but there's much Kingdom Hearts to be played. I think by like 2030, maybe I'll be able to get through all the Kingdom Hearts games, I hope. But we'll see.
Yeah, don't worry. We will assist you in like dosing it correctly, because we also don't want you to like get burned out.
And it's funny, like, I can so confidently like plan for the future, because I know like the people that have always been there will be there, and like I know I'll be here, and like we'll all be there, and that's like that's really cool to me, that like we can really plan ahead. Like, I'm pretty confident in 5 years from now, when we finally beat the last Kingdom Hearts, CHILEMEX will be there in chat popping off.
You know it.
Like it's gonna be
no
awesome.
chance I'm not gonna be there.
It's gonna be great. So it's like it's good. It's good to have just constants in your life, and I think the stream has been a constant for a lot of people. You guys have been a constant in my life for a long time, and it's just cool to kind of be able to like to confidently say, like, sure, maybe not everyone in the community, maybe some people will move on or do other things, and like, so we can't say like everyone will be there in 5 years, but I can say like I would bet that most of our like regular people that have been there a while, and people that are newer that hang out, like, I would say the chances are very good that a lot of them will still be there 5 years from now, when we're when we're on Kingdom Hearts, I don't know what's a later game, when we're on Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days, or we're on Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, I don't know, like whatever the later Kingdom. I forgot the whole timeline. You guys typed it out in chat last time. Where
I mean, the latest one as of now is Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory.
Okay.
The rhythm game. That's a fun one.
But... Oh yeah, I can't. You guys will love watching me play rhythm games on stream. Oh, you're gonna have so much fun.
Absolutely.
Oh god.
But yeah, no, I really don't see myself leaving for any reason that's beyond my that isn't beyond my control, of course. So yeah, and like, just to quickly like add to the point of like not taking the game too seriously, when I said that, of course, I mean in the sense that it's a Disney game with a lot of very Disney-ish concepts that are obviously not always super applicable to real life, because they're all like about friendship, light, darkness, and all that stuff, and you have to take it with a little bit of like touch on reality, to put it like that. But that also does not mean that I have not cried my eyes out at every single time that I've finished Kingdom Hearts 1 or 3, which are the ones that usually get me when I finish them.
Oh dang it! I'm gonna have to prepare myself, guys, to cry. I already had problems not crying on the podcast. Oh god, being live. Oh no, I'm in trouble.
No, because there's really, like, as I've said, I've grown attached to to basically all these characters, and I don't mean just again, the Disney part of Kingdom Hearts is not my main draw, despite me thinking that it's fundamental for the series, but like also the original characters, like you know them by now, the main trio, Sora, Rico, and Kairi. Like,
yep.
I've seen them. Like, I want to see how it goes for them, and I'm very happy to see them being still part of the games. And yeah, it's I don't want to get too cheesy talking about this, but yeah, it's yeah.
Well, I hate Riku. That little bitch got his ass beat in the race, so get wrecked.
You're supposed to be a little bit hateful towards Riku in the first game, but that's how it is.
Yeah, he got his ass beat after attempt number 7. He lost that race real hard, so
because he's a little ass.
Yeah, he's a little ass. It lives rent free in my head every time I see Riku. My head, because I watched that first episode. I spent so much time editing it and like making the compilation. So like I watched that clip like 100 times, and every time it's like that little, seeing the little text box pop up at the bottom where CHILEMEX goes, "Riku, you little ass," and I'm just like, yes, brother.
He cheats.
Yeah,
he does all the little shortcuts.
Yeah, what the hell?
Ways. And then he walks because he's a little like he wants to brag like, "Oh, I'm winning," and then he walks.
He's flexing on me. So had you seen that before? Because I feel like some people were saying like they've never seen that happen before.
Oh yeah, no, I had seen it, but it's always so funny to see just how he walks towards the end.
That's
just
hilarious.
To flex.
He's flexing on me. Hilarious. I don't know how to play no Kingdom Hearts.
The worst part is that if you lose, and I promise we can move on after this, but like if you lose, he's all like, "Oh yeah, looks like I win, so now I get to decide." But if you win, he acts like he doesn't care. He's like, "Oh yeah, it's just a name. I don't care," and that's infuriating. Like, okay, yeah.
No, I know anyway. I know the type. Yeah, like I'm too cool to care about that.
Yeah, stupid. It made me so upset, but that's his character in that game. So
amazing.
Yeah, we love Riku.
Yeah, what a guy! What a guy! It's all right. Every game needs like a lovable kind of like cocky jerk that you can kind of like him. But yeah, exactly. All right, so I think this will be a question that puts you on the spot. This isn't directed just to you, but I always let my guests answer first. So this is question number 3, and the question says, "What is the most amazing thing / moment you experienced in the furry fandom?" I think I actually know your answer because you talked about it a lot, but go on.
Oh God! Have I talked?
I mean, I feel like it was like your first con. Like you did talk about what a magical time that was for you, just like for the first time experiencing that.
That's probably what I would choose. Like, I'm thinking if there's some like, not smaller moments, but like little moments that obviously happened online that also made me
like your birthday.
Realize. Yeah, I mean I wouldn't be there if I wouldn't have been able to attend that if I wasn't a furry. So yeah. It's all connected, butterfly effect and stuff. But
sure.
I think in the bigger scale of things, if that makes sense, I really think that it would be my first con, which means Eurofurence 2023. Mostly because like, when I started calling myself a furry, very like shyly, not even shyly, but just, I was kind of scared because before I started calling myself a furry, I thought furries were kind of like not weird, but also, kind of weird.
Yeah, right.
And, it's normal, I think. And then I realized I liked furries and I was like, oh, okay, I gotta be careful here because the whole internet is gonna hate me. And then I realized, it was 2019, so people were already mostly over the whole furry hating phase, thankfully. So yeah. And when I worked up the courage to go to the main thing, like the big thing that you can do as a furry, which is a furry convention, I was like, I don't know if I'm really gonna like this. Like, excuse me, my voice is dying. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
No problem.
Okay, I'm back. I did it. My voice is back. Like, when I went to my first con, I was like, I'm gonna try this just to, cross it off my furry list and see if I like it. And at that point, I was also like, yeah, I like furries. I like the furry space and the whole community around it, but I didn't have a whole interest about the fursuit aspect of the fandom. Like, I obviously thought fursuits were cool, but I was like, yeah, that's okay. I don't think I'll ever get one because that's just not what I need or want, and that's not my main draw to the fandom. And then I went to the convention in Hamburg in 2023, spent like 5 days there. I went back home, and the one thought in my head was, I need to get a fursuit. So I was 100% converted to the fact that fursuits are amazing. They are so cool to just see in real life, and so cool to interact with, because you also get to know the person behind the fursuit, which is not like, it's not to be taken for granted. Like, you always got to remember that behind the costume there is a person, and that person is, if you're lucky, also a very cool person. So and yeah, I think the whole experience of a con was what made me realize that being a furry is pretty fucking cool, to put it in a most blunt way. if we can say it like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, and I think that's a common sentiment. And I mean, the question wasn't directed directly to you, so I think they're probably asking me the same thing. And I mean, I would say the same kind of thing. Like, my first con was BLSC 2016, and went in without any expectations. And it's very funny that you mention it, because I remember like going to this con, like I was the one who kind of was like pulling the strings, and then like Toshabi kind of said like, oh, like, I guess I'll just go just to see that it's probably not for me. Like, it probably won't be all that great, but we'll just go and just, say we did it. So then we go, and it really is like, it is such a magical experience. And like, I think CHILEMEX already summed it up perfectly. That, I can't really even say it any better, but like, it really is a magical experience. You see all these things, you got your badges, and you're seeing all these fursuiters, and there's all this art. You just feel completely accepted. Like, you're in a safe space with like other people like-minded, and you can really just be yourself, whatever you want to be.
Yes.
And for me, I kind of got to re-experience that, right? Because the last con I'd went to was BLFC 2019, and then the pandemic hit, and I hadn't gone to any con until Las Vegas FurCon 2024. So that was almost 5 whole years. So it was almost it was almost like a reminder. Like, I remember LVFC and it being like, oh, like, it's my local con, like, it'll be fine, like, it'll be nice to go to a con again, but like, I'm not all that excited. And then getting there, you see people and like, it just like, I remember that feeling, like when I see someone like that I only knew from the internet, and I see them across the way, and I'm like, holy crap, it's you. And they're like, whoa, it's you. And like, that feeling is like so amazing. Like, looking at like buying all this stuff at the dealer's den that I absolutely had no intention of purchasing or even thinking about purchasing. Just seeing the art, like meeting people, just hanging out with people that I like. Safe space. Again, it's like I can meet people at furry cons, never ever had a conversation with them ever, and have like fantastic conversations. Like, we've been best friends forever. And it's just great that you can just like form that bond, and then like you really have a few days where you are fully and utterly 100% able to just be yourself and be around other like-minded people and just enjoy yourself and forget about any shitty stuff in the world. Everyone's just having a good time. And it really is, I've been to other cons that aren't furry cons, and the feeling is at a furry con is just like such next level. So I really encourage people, if there's anyone listening who's never been to a con, I think GameWork is going to his first con in November, actually. He was mentioning, because can I talk about this here?
Oh.
I guess we can talk about it. GameWork is going to be a future guest on the podcast, so he was telling me his schedule. And so, yeah, he mentioned that. But so I guess if people are listening this far in, congratulations. You just got a spoiler for the future. But yeah, so like, if anyone's listening, you've never been to a con, like, even if you don't think it's for you, and I totally understand that, because I felt the same, Toshabi felt the same. I'm pretty sure CHILEMEX just pretty much said he felt the same when he went. Like, being uncertain that if it's for you or like what you're actually gonna do, like it. Trust me, like you find things to do when you're there. Like even like you don't have to go there with a plan. Like I'm gonna do. Like I never go in like I'm gonna do this at this time and this at this time. And I just go in and you just kind of let it flow how it will, and you'll just find things to do. You'll meet people, and it's just it really is a super magical experience. And I think honestly, there's so many different things you can do as well. Like no matter what you're interested in, some people like going to panels. Some people like spending a lot of time in the dealer's den buying stuff. Some people like just mostly hang out with friends. Like I don't particularly go to panels very much. So I spend a lot of time just hanging out with friends, having some drinks, going to the dealer's den, just kind of vibing with like people that I'm comfortable being around. That people, again, it's the experience of we'll circle back to where we were talking earlier about like how it's so awesome that like we get to all hang out on my stream like twice a week and we see each other all the time. But like when I go to cons, I'm hanging out with people that I maybe don't talk to all that often. Like this is like the most time of the year I'm going to get to hang out with them or like talk to them and stuff. So it's just an opportunity to really like bond with people that life's busy, so you don't have time to talk to everyone you want to all the time. So like it's a good opportunity to just kind of like socialize and talk to people, hang out, and get to know people better, form bonds, and it's just whatever you're interested in, you'll find something to do at the con. And I think anyone would have good vibes just being there because it really is a magical place. And again, even if you think like, I don't like fursuits all that much, trust me, when you get to the con, you're going to like fursuits, okay?
Oh my God,
promise you.
Like,
yeah, you might like, think like, I'm kind of neutral, but trust, like it is proven time and time again that even if you feel that way before you go to the con, when you go to the con, you're going to be like, oh, I'm feeling some things.
They are walking works of art.
Yeah,
literally. Like there's some suits out there that are just magnificent. And oh God! And you brought up You brought up a couple of extremely important points. One of them being the fact that you can be fully yourself in a con at a con, and that's something I deeply felt all the times I went to a con, because I don't want to be dramatic or anything, but like in my daily life, Jesus, my voice is abandoning me. In my daily life, there's definitely like times where I have to not hide, quote unquote, my true self, but also just not let everything out and just mask a few things because society, scary stuff. At a con, that doesn't happen. And of course, while you always gotta stay within the limits of decency, that's obvious. But like the second you walk into a con space, you just look around and you realize that you can just be yourself because everyone around you understands you and knows what you feel, what you're going through, and like what you want to be like. And that's just an incredible feeling that I never felt anywhere aside from furry cons. And I make it sound like my con experience was always excellent, but like, you know me, I'm a little like not super extroverted, not at all actually. Quite the opposite. I'm a bit shy, and sometimes that can get to you at a con, in the sense that like maybe you wanna interact with people some more, where maybe you wanna approach some people, and maybe you wanna do it as much as just go to a fursuiter and tell them that you think their suit looks cool, but you can't do that because you feel like what if they think that's weird? I've had that 100 times. And it sucks when it happens, but at the same time, the only way to get over it is to just be at a con and realize that there will not be a fursuiter who will hate you if you tell them, hey, your suit looks cool. Because they spent a lot of money.
Yeah, they spent a lot of money on that suit, so when you compliment them, it's a good thing. And I talk about it a lot, but you have to kind of take a step back and you have to think like let me think. Like, if I was fursuiting right now and someone came up to me and said, like, "Hey, your suit's really cool," like, not being creepy, but just like a nice, like, normal compliment. Like, would I
Yeah.
think it was bad at all? Like, no, no way. Like, and I don't suit, but I've had random people say, like, "Oh, I really like that art." Like, "Oh, your character's so cool," and stuff. Like, plenty.
Yeah.
At cons, and I'm always like, "Oh, thank you. That's really, really nice."
Yeah. That's
So, take a chance, and uh, I don't know. I mean, I think all the people you hung out with, CHILEMEX, were introverts, your main group there, but like, and a good piece of advice for going to a con if you're an introvert is that if you have an extrovert friend you can hang around with a little bit, it does help. So I know. Trust me, if I'm at a con with an introverted friend, oh, we're for lack of a better way to say it, well, we're fucking going in, brother. If you tell me you like this suit, oh, I'm pushing you up to go tell them that you like their suit, or I'm gonna go tell them, oh, my friend really likes your suit and wanted to get a picture. Like, let's do it.
I don't want to give myself too much credit, but like this is something that happened a couple of times at this year's EF when I was with Kato and Aaron. I was pretty much the most extroverted one of the trio, which says a lot in the sense that I was usually the one to go to suitors and be like, "Hey, that suit looks amazing." And both Kato and Aaron were always like, "How the fuck do you do that?" I was like, I don't know. I don't normally do this, but I guess
you're getting good practice.
Yeah.
No, that's super cool.
So yeah, it's all a matter of practice, and just being there will make you more comfortable usually.
And you know what CHILEMEX said, like I guess that could be good practice if you're somewhat introverted yourself, but if you go with other even more introverted people, then you have to kind of have to step up. So like maybe that's a good opportunity for you to kind of like step out of your own comfort zone. And so yeah, but no, it really is, and it's such a hard feeling to describe. Like, if you've never been to a con, like, we're talking about it, but I'm sure there's still people listening like, I don't really understand that, like, I don't get it. But like, it really is hard to describe until you're actually there. Like, the feeling,
True.
we can't just like tell you. Like, all we can do is kind of say, like, trust us. Like, it's a good feeling, but like, it's hard to describe. And if I could like make an a analogy, which is like a not to the same level, but like we could say like, oh, like how people feel comfortable like when they're in the stream, like all of us hanging out and chatting, like you feel like you can be yourself and you're comfortable. But like that, but even on a way higher level, and it's in person, so it's like even like bigger. It's an amazing feeling. So I highly encourage anyone, even if you just try a smaller con, like one that's not necessarily like like an EF is a huge con. Like my first VLSC, that's a really big con. I've done MFF, huge con, but like Las Vegas Fur Con, not a massive con. That's why I've suggested it to a lot of people, because it's good sized. It's a decent sized con. It's not like you're not going to see anyone there, but it's not like overwhelming to the point where like it's just craziness. It's like it's a decent mid-sized con. So yeah, like even if it's just like, oh, like I have this smaller con like I can drive to from my house, or whatever, like try it if you get a chance. Like even if you just like Otterly was telling me his story, like his first con last year was Furry Week in Atlanta, FWA, which is a big con, mind you. But for him, that was like, oh, that's the one I could drive to. And so like someone like his friend or someone like, I don't know if they were like great friends, but like someone he knew was like, hey, like, do you want to carpool together and like get a room there? And he was like, okay, like, I don't know about cons, if I like cons or anything, it'll be my first one, but like, let's try it. And so they like did the road trip. It was like 2 hours driving for them to go to the con. So they did the road trip to the con and tried it and really had a really awesome time. So yeah, even if you're not doing something like crazy for your first con, even if it's just something that you're driving to or is like a local con, like give it a try. I think you'll really enjoy it, and it is always good to have. Ideally, you want at least like one other person fairly well. Like the first con I went to, it was literally me, Toshabi, one friend that we drove up with, and like one other person was in our room, but I didn't know him super well. So there was only like a couple people that I knew really well. And so like it is important to have like at least a couple people pretty well. Like, I mean, even I think you can attest to that. You had Kato and Aaron and maybe like a few other people you knew. I don't know how many other people there that you would say well, but not a whole lot. But like, you know, you have at least a couple people you know well, and then you kind of some people that you kind of sort of know, like more like casual friends or like acquaintances, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think it is important to have at least one or like, I think going completely alone where you're not like really good friends with anyone is kind of tough. But if you can find at least like one or two people even that you know pretty well that you can experience it with, I think that's more than enough. You don't need to have like a friend group of like 50 people that like all your best friends in the world. Like having a couple people that you know, like you'll feel comfortable. And at least that's my opinion from my experience. CHILEMEX, would you concur with that?
I concur 100% because just to quickly summarize it, like I went to 3 cons. 2 of them were Eurofurances, and one of them was NFC. At NFC, I went completely on my own, and even though when I was there, I did end up meeting up with a few people who I knew. I can't say I'm super close to them, but I do know them. But just being there completely on my own, knowing that I would be going back to my hotel completely on my own, and just doing the whole experience on my own is a little bit tough. And not in the sense that like it's bad, because I still loved Nordic FuzzCon, and I think that as a con itself it is better than Eurofurence, but I still enjoyed my Eurofurence experiences more because I was with someone else for those. So
and
if you can, always go with someone. If not, you know.
Great. No, and you know, and that's not also, you know, just to clarify, that doesn't mean that you have to spend like the entire, like you don't have to spend like every moment with them or anything like that. Like it's just like you have someone like, you know, that it's just like, I mean, in life, to be honest, like you have a friend that like even if, like not at a con, like you're online, like you want to play a game, you have that person that's like your friend that you can reach out to and say, oh, do you want to play this game with me? It's the same thing at a con. Like, okay, nothing's going on. Like, oh, let me reach out to like my good friend that I know is here and see what he's up to or she's up to or they're up to. And, you know, we can meet up. Like someone that, you know, like you have that one person that you can kind of like use as like your support like system for the con.
Base of operations.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You know, you have someone that you can connect to. And again, like you might not want to spend maybe you like doing stuff on your own as well, like exploring on your own and kind of like doing your own thing. But you also have that option when you know, that you don't have to feel lonely. Like when you know that you have someone there that like you can say, hey, what are you doing for dinner? Like, what are you up to later? Or like, you know, what is going on tonight? Like, or anything. So just to have that extra level of comfort, it is nice. Even if you like to do a lot of things alone. I'm a guy who can easily do my own thing. Like I love being around people, but I also like just sometimes going out on my own and just kind of like meeting new people and just kind of like being a little gremlin around in the world. But it is good to have those people that you can you know, connect with when you need your ride or die at the con, so to speak. So
exactly. Like, I'm not saying I didn't enjoy rooming on my own, because that was also like an experience I never tried before and it was kind of fun. But at the same time, I do believe that for an experience like a convention, it is a little bit better to have someone to rely on, basically. Even if you don't room with them, even if you don't, like you said, even if you don't spend 100% of your time with them, it's good to have someone you can go back to if you're like, you know, if you want to share some moments with someone else instead of knowing that at the end of the day you're still on your own. So
absolutely. I mean, it's the same. It's just kind of like the general thing for life, right? Like some people are very introverted and aren't super social, like in life in general, right? But I think everyone has at least a couple people that they're close to, because you know, we all need that connection. Like there might be, even if it, like CHILEMEX said, if there's something you want to like share, like, oh, I did this really cool thing, or like, oh, I saw this like amazing art that you would really like at the dealer's den, or like this really cool, I saw this really cool tail. CHILEMEX, go buy the tail.
Oh my
it's
God,
so cool.
I'm
it's just nice to be able to like share that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And just to also reconnect to something you said a while ago at this point, if you don't know exactly what, like if you're uncertain if you would enjoy a con or not because you quote unquote don't know what you will do, I will tell you this like fully sincerely, my favorite thing to do at a con for like most of the time is just finding somewhere to sit there and just look at people walk by, and at some point, like that's gonna be entertaining because you see suitors, you see people having fun, you might see something that you want to like take part of and just enjoy. Prime example, this year at Eurofurence, me, Kato, and Aaron just joined a random fursuiter that none of us knew, because they just sat down on the ground and pulled up this deck of Uno cards, like big Uno cards, and just started, like they just sat there waiting for someone to join them. We joined them and we played a bunch of rounds of Uno with them, and it was super fun. So yeah, that's really one way you can enjoy a convention, even without really having a plan. You just walk around, you sit somewhere, you look around, and you'll find something that you enjoy.
Absolutely. And you make new friends. You meet people, and like, even if you're sitting there, you might see someone, like you might see someone that you've seen their art on Twitter, or you might see someone that you're kind of like, and it just like, I remember my first con, like seeing like, and not even like talking to all of them or like introducing myself or anything, but just like, there's something that it's a really cool feeling when you're just like, you see someone walk by and you're like, holy crap, I know that I've seen their posts on Twitter before. Like, I know that character.
Cool.
That's so freaking awesome. Like, and again, like sometimes you'll introduce yourself, sometimes you'll end up having a conversation with them. But even just the feeling of being like, whoa, I've seen them on Twitter. That's so freaking cool. Like, now I know what they look like in person. Like, that's really cool. Like, that's awesome. They're here, like at the con as well.
That was me the first time I saw Nico Possum at a con.
Yeah, you're like, whoa.
Literally.
I hope you talked to them. Did you talk to Nikki? Okay, you did. Okay, good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I thought you just saw Nikki and just let them leave. I was like, no.
No.
Okay,
I did talk to them.
Okay, all right, good.
Actually, they were at all 3 cons I've been to. Whoa. So I was always there like, hello, it's me again.
And hopefully number 4 next year.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
I may be commuting with them from London to the con. I mean, potentially. I know we talked about it, so who knows? That might, if they're going, then hooray. But yeah, it really is. It is such a cool, and trust me, you don't need to have a plan. If you're confused, you don't know what you do at a con, just try going. I mean, I've never met anyone who says like, I don't like cons. Maybe there are some people out there who just wouldn't enjoy the experience, maybe. But I would say the vast majority, you don't have to have a plan for what you're going to do. Just go, and it really is an indescribable feeling, like that song from Aladdin, indescribable feel. Yeah.
Oh, that one on the carpet.
Yeah, it really is. It is such an experience. And I mean, I hopefully will have a few cons lined up for 2025, and I'm already excited. I'm already excited. And yeah, and again, a lot of people also, as a side note, we kind of briefly talked about it, but like a lot of people feel like, oh, if I don't have a suit, I won't enjoy the con that much. I have never had a suit, and I've loved to death every con. Now, that's not to say that you're not going to go there and want the suit, but just because you don't have a suit doesn't mean that the experience is lessened. Or, I mean, I guess you could make the argument that it's even better with the suit, but it's not bad in any way if you don't have a suit. Like, it is not.
No, not at all. And there's always more known suitors than suitors at a con.
Right.
At least in my case, that was always the situation. So, yeah.
Yeah, so you don't have to feel bad. You don't have to feel like you're not qualified, like, oh, I don't have enough like art, or I don't have a fursuit or anything. Like, just go and try and meet people, and like, like that's the best thing you can take out of it, is just like other people there. And here's another thing to note: you might think like, oh, I'm super shy and nervous. Guess what? Most of the people there are shy and nervous as well, and they're gonna feel nervous when you talk to them, or they're gonna look over and see you and be like, oh, I'm scared to talk to him. Like, his character looks really cool. Like, I'm scared to talk to him too. But like, I've never had a negative conversation at a FurryCon, like, at all. Like, anytime you talk to anyone, they're always happy. Like, they're always nice. People are pleasant. And it really is like a lot of people just kind of, they feel like, oh, I'm out of place. I'm shy. I'm awkward. Guess what? Probably 90%, not me, guys, but, like 95% of the con probably feels shy to some extent. And, it's just like, you're not out of place. You can be yourself. You truly can. Even like, if you're a shy, like, kind of like introverted person, you fit in just fine. If you're a super outgoing extroverted person, you fit in just fine. So you know what? There's whatever you are, you fit in.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
And nowadays, like, cons are also becoming like they're trying their best at being as welcoming as possible, even for people who are more introverted and stuff. Like, a little example that comes to mind: this year's Eurofurence had this place called a quiet room, where it was just a space that was separated. I mean, not even separated, because it wasn't far away from anything, but it was this closed room that was like that. There was no music, no loud stuff happening, just a little space where you could just walk in and chill for as long as you like. There were people sleeping in there, because I walked in there a few times, and there were people like literally taking a nap in there, and it served as a excellent place to just, recharge in case you need to take a break from the loud, crowded spaces of a con. And that's something everyone can need every now and then. So yeah.
And I think that's the cool part is, like, again, whatever you are, like, for me, like, that's not something I would see myself needing. But like, it's really awesome that people have that option, and like, you don't have to feel out of place because you're more extroverted. You don't have to feel more out of place because you're more introverted. Whatever you feel like you fit in, and that's the beautiful thing. Like, whatever whoever you are, you will find your place there, and I think that's really, really cool. So
absolutely.
So that I think we had a unanimously mutual decision that our most amazing thing was our first con. But honestly, any con, like every con I go to, like I said, this last con my first con in 5 years, was just as magical as I could have ever. And you do forget, like, a little bit. Like, I won't lie, like, I kind of forgot like how magical it was, and then I went to it and I was like, holy shit, that was like the most amazing thing ever, and I can't wait for the next one. So
absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's really cool.
Yeah, but if I had to give one alternative reply to our question, which went all the way back to your best moment in the furry fandom, that doesn't have anything to do with cons, it would be when I got my ref sheet done from my favorite artist ever.
I remember
but that's a very personal
iconic
thing. Yeah,
I remember.
That was
great ref sheet.
Like, and after that ref sheet, I got like 3 other pieces done from her. I mean, one of them is in the making.
I've seen a lot of them, so yeah, they always do a good job on you.
So yeah, having your favorite artist or just content creator do something for you is also a magical thing, because it's the best way to bring your character to life. So yeah,
absolutely. So all right, cool. Well, you ready for the next question? I think we did a good job on that one.
Yeah.
All right.
It was a long response.
Here we go. Question number 4. This is a great one. This is by Anonymous. Okay. It says, Raichu, please tell CHILEMEX he's awesome. Hey, CHILEMEX, you're awesome. And it says CHILEMEX in all. It says CHILEMEX in all caps, so that's why I yelled it. But yeah. So
thank you, Raichu, and thank you, Anonymous.
Thank you, mystery viewer. I did the thing. I did the thing, guys.
We agree to disagree, as we say.
Thank you. This is a great. Okay, you're gonna love this one. CHILEMEX, you're the star again. Congrats. This is all you. So I am out of this question. It says, CHILEMEX, can you rate your favorite world in Spyro 2? And so hold on. So before we go to that, they spelled favorite with like a U, like FAVOURITE. So can you rate your favorite world? And then it says, and yeah, Raichu, favorite is spelled with a U. Deal with it. Thank you, Game Orca. Yes, that's who it's from. You're correct.
All right. I have a small confession. I was dying and hoping that Game Orca would ask this, because since I know that he likes Spyro as much as I do, I was really hoping for a question like this one, and that's on point, because I have a response that's just immediate in my mind, and since I'm not too sure if it qualifies, I have 2 of them, but the main one, the main response that I have immediately on top of my brain and of my heart, because this world lives rent-free in my heart is Autumn Plains from Spyro 2, which is also the world that you can see on my little streams.
That's what I was gonna ask. Okay, it's that one. Got it.
Yeah, in my intro screen, if you can call it that, it's just a little recording of various like sceneries from Autumn Plains, and the reason why that is that Autumn Plains is not only my favorite Spyro 2 world, but also my favorite what do we call it? Like place? Just favorite. There's a word for it. Just yeah. Let's
Video
just
game
say
setting,
favorite place.
video game setting or
Setting.
setting.
Yeah, yeah. Setting. Thank you. My favorite setting in the entirety of in any game that I can think of, basically. And yeah, I know that seems like a huge statement, but like to put a little bit of of context behind this, Spyro 2 has 3 hub worlds, which are the places where you can access the various levels of the game, and these 3 hub worlds are like dangerless places. So like there's no enemies, there's no risk of dying unless you jump off a cliff, and if in that case it's your fault. and and all 3 of them are based on seasons. One of them is summer forest, one of them is autumn plains, and one of them is winter tundra. It's sad that there isn't a 4th one based on spring, but I guess that's game limitations because Spyro 2 is an old game for the PS1. But Autumn Plains is the second world, the second hub world that you get to visit, that you get to access in the game, and also the biggest one of the 3. The bigger one of the 3, I don't know English, whatever. And it has such a nice vibe. Like autumn used to be my favorite season. Fall for you Americans, fall. Autumn maybe it's such a difficult word, but yeah, fall. It used to be my favorite season. Nowadays, I don't know if I would stick to that statement, but most of why I thought it was my favorite season, I'm not ashamed to admit it, was because of Autumn Plains. Because that place has such a relaxing, beautiful vibe, because it's divided in 2 parts. One part is outside, like out in the open, and there's these big trees with like leaves falling from them, because of course it's fall, so the leaves are falling from the trees. And there's this pool of water that you can jump into and swim with Spyro, and these funny buildings around the courtyard of the castle that you can access to go to various levels. And then you have the inside part of the castle that you can run around in and visit other levels. And the best part of this world is when you can go on top of the highest tower of the castle. And in the original game, in the PS1 game, when you did this, you would also hear the sound of the wind, like blowing in Spyro's ears, basically. For some reason, in Reignited, they got rid of that in the Reignited trilogy version, which is a shame, but whatever. And that part of the game and that part of the setting was always such a beautifully relaxing, and just I don't even know how to describe it. It's so beautiful. It's a majestic way to portray something as simple as the season of autumn, fall, whatever you want to call it, because it portrays a level of relaxation, but also just it's the wind is blowing, so it's kind of cold. It's fall. It's not as warm as it used to be in summer, and and then you can glide down from the highest tower, and you can find yourself back in the main area of the courtyard where you spawn at first. It's it's so fucking good. That's my response. That's my favorite world of in the whole Spyro universe, and in all games that I've ever played, is Autumn Plains for Spyro 2. And the main reason is just because it resonates so much with just the vibe that I like, and just a relaxing place that has no danger aside from, again, cliffs, but you don't really jump off cliffs on a daily basis. So like when you're there, you know you're in a safe place, and it's portrayed so well. The music is incredible. I didn't even mention the music, but the music is incredible. And the same can be said for the other two hub worlds, Summer Forest and Winter Tundra, because those two also portray their seasons beautifully. But Autumn Plains has always been the one that made me fall in love with the concept of the season of fall. And just every time I play Spyro 2 and I just finish it or just don't know what to do in it, the one place I find myself back in is Autumn Plains, because it's such it feels like home. And I know this is gonna sound cheesy as fuck, and I'm sorry, but it every time I find myself in Autumn Plains, whether it's in the original games or in the Reignited trilogy, it just feels like home. So that's that's my answer. I'm sorry, Game Orca. I know it's not exactly a world, because again, it's not a level. There's no danger. Sure, you have some objectives to complete, but there's no actual danger or like things to do aside from collecting gems and orbs. But that's really the first place I think about when I think about Spyro. So yeah.
So you said you said there's no danger, but what you meant was there's no danger.
Danger. I can't do it. Only Kelmori can do it well. I'm sorry. Aside from all this, my backup answer is Glimmer, the first level of Spyro 2, because it has nice music, nice setting. It's in the mines. There's all the gems, and it's the first level of the game. It's fun. The little critters you find running around are fun, and it's iconic because it's the first level that also gives the name to the game itself. If you live in Europe, Gateway to Glimmer. And yeah, that's my backup answer. I'm done. I promise. You can talk now.
Here's my thought. I need to stream Spyro games probably next year.
Look.
And my other thought is, why the hell is this 40 gigs to install the Spyro Reignited trilogy on Steam? Holy crap, that's a large game.
It's not perfectly well optimized. The Reignited trilogy is an excellent game, but it's not the best when it comes to optimization. But
it's worth it. So I don't know. I think we'll play CHILEMEX. You might be really enjoying 2025 if we're playing Kingdom Hearts and Spyro for half the dang year. So it might be the best year of all. Well, you and Game Orca, really. So yeah. You guys might be having a great year. Yeah, it might be a great year for you guys. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I know I've been talking. For Game Orca wouldn't know this, but I have been talking for quite a long time that I need to stream Spyro at some point. So I think it will happen. I mean, it could be honestly a good even candidate for like a YouTube series, because it's kind of like a chill kind of game. So maybe that's an even better idea, which I understand might not be as enjoyable because then you guys can't gush about it like in real time, but it might be a good candidate for that. Yeah, I don't know. So something to think about. I don't know. I really, tangent, but having the YouTube series to kind of play games that maybe I want to stream, but there's so much to stream and like maybe they're not perfect. Like Omori was something I always wanted to play that I never got to, and I was told again and again it's maybe not the best vibes for a Raichu stream. So having the ability to play games like this has been really awesome for me as well. I mean, we've only done this is really our first, but I'm excited for the opportunity to play more games and stuff that maybe I wouldn't have streamed. I guess it's a little more. It leaves the door open to slightly longer games as well that I shy away from because it's just a YouTube series. It can be however many parts. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know, just something I thought about. But Spyro, I have Spyro. I have the Reignited trilogy up on my Steam right now, and Spyro is just staring into my eyes right now with the utmost seriousness. So I hope
the smug face. Yeah,
I hope he's excited for me to stream it in 2025 or YouTube, whatever we do. But I think we can count on some Spyro happening in 2025. So
yes, look, back in 2018 when they announced the Spyro Reignited trilogy, I had nothing else in my mind from the moment it was announced to the moment it released. I'm kind of glad you didn't know me back then very well, because I was obsessed. Like, I was obnoxiously talking only about Spyro, and it was, oh, what a time. that year was something.
Yeah,
So
2019.
yeah,
Wow, it's the 5-year anniversary it came out, huh? I just saw September 2019. Crazy.
oh yeah, it's in a bit. Wait,
It just
5
happened,
years?
yeah. 2019 September is what the page says, so.
Oh yeah, but that's the Steam version.
Oh,
The
yeah.
PS4 and Xbox came out in 2018, so
Oh,
that's
okay.
almost
I
6
got
years
you.
actually.
Wow, yeah. I'm sorry,
Oh,
I
time
don't
flies.
believe in consoles. I only play on Steam.
Oh no, I was there like the day it released on PS4. I was there like a little child, and it was so worth it.
And
Oh,
you guys, the only reason I really got to play Kingdom Hearts was because of the Steam release. So you know what? Thank you, Steam, for real. Just
oh,
making
thank you.
making things easy to stream. Because listen, I can play. I mean, I have consoles and stuff, obviously, but there's an extra layer of work that goes into doing anything that's not on Steam. Steam makes it so easy. So games
True.
that I would be much less likely to stream. I mean, Kingdom Hearts, I never even really thought too seriously about streaming it. Then it came to Steam, and the same year, it was like only a few months ago, right? Or that it came out?
Like this summer, like June, I think.
It's like a few months later, bam, we're already playing Kingdom Hearts on stream. So you know what? Sometimes life just works out like that. So
absolutely.
pretty
And like the
cool.
fact that such a huge series is now so easily accessible, because like back in the day, like if you look at the original Kingdom Hearts games, like each game and on which platform it is, it's a mess, because you have one game on PS2, then Game Boy Advance, then PS2 again, then the Nintendo DS, then the PSP, then the 3DS. It's a freaking mess. So it's good to have all of them now on PC on the same platform, which is Steam. Unless you want to play Melody of Memory, which is still in the Epic Games shackles.
Oh,
hopefully
good.
they will release it at some point. But
no worries. When we play that, I'll have to just go over to Epic for the day. No worries.
yeah, I guess that right now it's the only way, but maybe they'll release it too. I hope.
I hope
it's a good
so.
game.
Yeah, hopefully. But yeah, no, it's great. I mean, I love the accessibility of games, and again, this is coming from someone who is a game collector who has all these most of those games on the original consoles, but just being able to easily play them when you want on Steam. I mean, Steam, what a great invention. Thanks, Gabe Newell. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Gabe.
Great guy.
Not Gabe, but also Gabe.
Thank you, Gabe, for existing. But also thank you, Gabe Newell, for existing as well. Our two favorite Gabes.
So many games in existence. So,
but
yeah,
I'm excited for more Spyro. Yeah, hopefully he answered your question well, Game Workshop.
I'm so sorry. Like I was really secretly hoping for a question like this, so my eyes went. Like,
I told you, you got to talk about Kingdom Hearts, about Spyro, about Tails. This is the best day of all time
I can
for
go
you,
home.
dude.
I got it all done.
Yeah, you. This is the greatest day of all time. I told you they were focusing. We didn't get any, like our last guest episode. We didn't have such specific questions, but this one people were like locked in. They know what CHILEMEX likes. Let's lock it in.
Well, to King's defense, that the first episode they didn't know.
No one knew anything.
We didn't know that
shit.
he was gonna be there.
Oh, true.
But,
you're right. Oh, true. Yeah. You're so right. I forgot. Well, good thing no one asked me about Kingdom Hearts, because I wouldn't have had a good answer.
I would have asked Kingdom Hearts questions.
Oh, I'm sure you would have. Yeah, that is so true. Yeah. Well, see, and that's the beauty of it. We can learn from our past. You know, we can. It's optimized now that I know that it's better to reveal that someone's coming on, so we can ask, specific, pointed questions to that person. So we're all learning together. I don't know how to do a freaking podcast. Are you kidding me? I don't know shit, dude. I don't even really know how to stream. I just know how to talk. I don't know how to actually quote unquote stream.
I don't know what I'm doing here.
I'm real good at talking, but you have to actually have some semblance of like strategy to actually do this. But I don't know. I think we're doing pretty good.
Oh yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. Like, this is like, it feels so natural. I keep forgetting that this is gonna be like on the internet.
Yeah, the world is gonna see it. They're gonna judge you.
Oh my god! On my Spyro 2 opinions, my excellent Spyro 2 opinions. Because if you disagree, you're wrong. Anyway,
that's valid. Well, GameWorker, tell us and when you listen to this, tell us in the podcast discussion channel what your favorite is, or anyone else who likes Spyro 2 that wants to share. I'd be curious.
Or any Spyros, really, because I just defaulted to Spyro 2 because that's my favorite one. But yeah,
I'd be curious to hear if like the opinions are like pretty much similar, or if people have varying, like vastly different preferences in their favorite worlds in that game. I don't know. So it's been a hot minute since I played any. I did play the Spyro games as a kid, but like I don't necessarily remember specific names of places very well. So everything will feel fresh to me once we stream it someday. So it'll be good. It will be good. You know, as a kid, you don't remember. I mean, I don't know. I think as like a young kid, at least, you don't retain a lot of that. You're like, what the hell? They have names? I just know the icy place and the frickin' leaf falling place.
I think Autumn Plains is the one place that I have that's been stuck in my head ever since I was like 4.
Yeah, that's
I
crazy.
really always loved that place. So,
that's so cool.
Every other level I forgot the names of as I grew up, but Autumn Plains was always there. And
that's so valid. That's cool. All right. Well, we have one last question, CHILEMEX. We're over the 2-hour mark, by the way, so we're within the realm. Once we're done, we're done. But we're on the last question, which this is a question directed at me from GameWorker. Thank you. That he says, "Don't think I forgot the negativity, Raichu." That's the first part of the question. So he's going to tell me to say something I don't like. But we'll get your opinion as well. But the question says, "What is your least favorite spelled with a U PS1 game in your collection?" So I don't know I don't know how many PS1 games you played as a young lad, but if you have any opinions of any that you really played maybe and you didn't like on the PS1, I mean, I assume you played Spyro because I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I would never put any of those.
Yeah, they don't deserve it to be there.
No. I've played a bunch of PS1 games back in my day, and I'm currently, as we speak, I'm currently going through my archive collection thing to see which ones I actually owned. If I could filter them by platform, there we go. PlayStation 1, thank you very much. Oh my god, how does this website work? Show me the games. If you want to answer this in the meantime while I browse my games.
As we know, I'm really, really, really bad at saying bad things about anything. So GameWorker, congratulations. I've never thought about this question, but now I'm thinking about this question. So I don't know. I never have a solid answer because I don't hate anything in my collection. I love them all. I love every video game, every movie ever, but if we're being honest, the one that jumps out into my brain that as a child I was disappointed with because it's, I don't know, sometimes games, you have high expectations for a particular game in a series because the others you really, really liked, and sometimes another one entry into the series you maybe didn't do enough for you. So the game that jumps out to my mind when I played it as a kid was Final Fantasy VIII because I like a lot of Final Fantasy games. I did not enjoy Final Fantasy VIII very much. That was I think it's a fairly somewhat common sentiment. But I think that would be the one that jumps out into my mind. Other than something really bad, like I don't know, I have. Let me tell you how many PS1 games I have in my collection. 252. Other than something really ridiculously bad, like if I said like I have like Madden 1999 or something like that, sure, that's like the easy answer. Like, yeah, it's probably a crappy game, but something that to give you an actual meaningful answer of like a game that I was thinking would be fun and I didn't really enjoy that much, we could say Final Fantasy VIII.
Okay.
But I'm looking through the list. I'm just assuming I'm like scrolling far in the list because it's sorted by value. So I'm going to the cheap games. I'm hoping that there will be something obnoxiously horrible. Like, I have Madden 2004, which by the way, the fact that there was a Madden 2004 on the PS1 seems crazy. Wow. Isn't that really freaking like PS2 is already well going into like life
like
by that point.
2004?
That was getting
PS1?
close to PS3 almost. Yeah.
What?
Like, that must be probably one of the last games released on the console. I have to assume.
Definitely, yeah. It feels like Just Dance, who kept releasing on
Yeah,
Wii
exactly.
like
Yeah.
until 2020.
That's so funny.
uh,
Are you a Just Dance and CHILEMEX? I feel like you got some moves.
I mean, I've played like a couple of Just Dance games when I was younger, and then I bought the one that came out last year, not knowing that it was like a live service
Oh
game. So
no.
yeah, and like Ubisoft be doing kind of crazy things, and like I don't know exactly what I bought. I bought it on Switch, and it's not even a game. It's like the live service that you
Oh
also
no.
have to additionally pay for if you want to.
Oh no.
It's a weird thing, but yeah, it can be fun for
Yeah, you get
parties.
some Katy Perry going, and a little
Oh, I would
California.
love that. I would absolutely love that. And you think, like, I thought I had it difficult with 18 games on my PS1 collection. You have 200. What the fuck?
And see, that's low. I think I have 400 PS2. PS2 is my higher console in terms
Oh
of
my
PlayStation.
goodness.
My PS2 is 366. Yeah.
So your
PS3
quest,
115. I didn't even know there
your
was.
final reply is
I guess I'll say Final Fantasy 8 will be my
8.
answer. We'll go with
The
that.
one with Squall
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Leon.
Yep.
Wow, that's a Kingdom
That's how I
Hearts
learned about him from. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
Nah.
That's why I had to beat his ass.
No, I've looked through my collection now, and there's not really a game that I heavily dislike in my PS1 collection. First of all, because it's not a big one, and most of these games are like maybe not most, but many of these games are like Disney movies tie-ins. Those used to be a lot more prominent back in the days. Like a Disney movie came out and the video game came out together with
100%.
it.
There had to be the game.
Yeah, exactly. And I had a lot of those. I see like Peter Pan, I see Monsters Inc., I see The Lion King. It's a lot of stuff. But I think the game, not that I disliked, but the game I struggled the most is this game called Pandemonium.
Oh, I know Pandemonium, yeah.
Oh, you know Pandemonium?
I do.
Okay.
I do, yeah.
Like, I remember playing it a lot as a kid and finding it so freaking difficult because it's a platformer game, and you have these two characters. One of them can double jump and the other one can like attack with a staff or something. And the levels were like so incredibly difficult to get through. Like and not to mention the fact that it was one of those games where you didn't have a saving system based on the memory card. You had the one based on passwords. Like every time you completed a level,
annoying.
They gave you a password. It was the worst because I never saved my passwords. So every time I booted up the game, I had to start it from scratch.
Oh my god!
Because I was dumb. And like it was a fun game, and I think I have it on Steam too because I bought it again when I saw that it was on Steam.
Yep.
But it's very complicated as a platformer, and I didn't really know what was going on inside of it when I was a young lad playing on my PS1. So I guess I'll pick that as not my least favorite PS1 game, but the one I struggled the most.
Game Orca, you can't make CHILEMEX and I be negative, okay? We're only except CHILEMEX talking about himself, he'll be negative. However, any media, he will be optimistic.
Where do I start?
No. Like I don't know, it's an interesting experience as a kid. Like I mean, I don't know if like the renting culture, like renting games, was as big over there as it was in the States, but just like renting games and like trying something, and you're just like, what the hell is this? Like, because you don't really know like what something's gonna be. And nowadays, it's like any game you purchase, for the most part, you're able to just look online and figure out what the game is gonna be like. I think for me, for the most part, I don't really do much research when I'm going to play a game in this day and age, just because I don't want to know everything. Like I want to be kind of like same thing, I guess, with movies. Like you just watch The Substance. We'll fit in a little substance talk at the end. Like you didn't really know much what the movie was going to be about, I don't think, other than like the basic plot maybe. And I didn't know it hardly anything when I went to it. And wow, what a film! Well, I think we're done with the PS1 question, so we can pivot to a little bit of substance before we say our goodbyes here.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, Smile 2 might be your movie of the year, but is Substance in the debate for movie of the year? Simple answer.
Go ahead. No, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, simple answer. Like, would you say it's in the debate for your favorite movie you've seen this year, like new movie?
Well, it's up there.
Yeah,
one definitely. It's not my favorite one because my favorite one was. Yeah, exactly. That's already been well established the second I watched it, and I don't think anything else that's coming out in the next month and a half will top Wild Robot. So
yeah, they're incredible.
No, that's not getting dethroned. But that's also a completely different genre, of course. And
I suppose I should have clarified horror. Your favorite horror?
Oh, horror. Okay.
I mean, I assume Smile 2 and that are probably your top two. If you made me guess, I don't know for sure, but
yeah, I think when it comes to horror, unless I'm forgetting something extremely obvious, I think I would have to go for Smile 2 as of now.
Yeah.
For releases of this year, but The Substance is a close second. It is a horror movie in all senses of the word. So.
Yeah. It's horrifying, the things it makes you feel.
Yeah.
Oh,
I have so much that I could say about
it. What a film, yeah.
It's like, how much can we,
we
spoil?
I feel like we probably shouldn't, considering probably like no one else in the world has seen it, but without spoiling, we can talk about it on our own. But on the podcast, I mean, guys, it's a good-ass movie. It is such a masterful movie.
I watched it yesterday, like 24 hours ago, a bit over that. And like Raichu said, I learned of the existence of this movie very shortly before its release, because it's kind of funny, because the way I found out about its existence was when they delivered to the movie theater one of those promotional huge posters that we put in the foyer, the big that
do you guys
place.
get to take those home when you're done? Because you better steal that crap if so.
No, we just store it in the room and just leave them there. But like, I saw this huge poster and I was like, the poster features the two main characters, if you can call them that, just blowing a kiss to the viewer. And I was like, okay, what is this? I've never heard of this. And so I watched the trailer and I was like,
it doesn't give a lot away in the trailer.
No, the trailer doesn't show a lot. Like, the trailer lets you know that something is up, like there's something within, because if you just look at the trailer without thinking too much about it, it almost feels like a comedy. Like, this person takes this thing to become younger, and now she gets she's all hot and gets to do all the things that she couldn't do before. But obviously, if you see The Substance, you know that's not exactly how it goes.
It's a horror movie, guys. Shit doesn't always go as it should, Sometimes you do. Sometimes something tells you not to do something and you do it anyway, to the stupidity of yourself, I guess. Don't. That's the horror. That's horror tropes in a nutshell, right? Don't do this. Okay, I'm gonna fucking do it anyway.
Yeah, but like, obviously, you as a viewer, when you watch The Substance happen, you're like, no, why would you do that? Don't do that. That's so dangerous. But like, then you try to get into the head of the protagonist and you try and understand what exactly she's going through, because again, I'm gonna try not to spoil too much here, but this lady is just going through the fact that everyone around her is suddenly seeing her as old, and
she's washed. They're saying she's washed.
She's washed. She's not useful for anything anymore. And keep in mind, she's only 50 years old, so she's not like ancient. She's 50
and
years
she's
old.
still quite attractive, like conventionally speaking. Like
Absolutely,
probably looks better than most people that are younger.
Exactly, but the poisonous industry she works with just gets rid of her because they need someone looking hotter and younger and cooler. So they just kindly show her the way out, and
kindly, quote unquote.
Yeah, quote unquote, yeah. And she obviously suffers from it, and that is until this solution, quote unquote, again gets brought up with the substance. And the main premise of this substance is that it creates a better, younger, hotter version of you, all while still keeping the current version of you alive. And at first, she's all like, "Oh, this is stupid. I'm not gonna do it." And then 5 seconds later, she's like, "Wait, I actually wanna try this because otherwise my life will be miserable." And the rest is history.
Yeah.
The rest happens. And again, don't want to spoil too much, but this is a movie that deals with the concepts, the extremely scary concepts of getting older, getting like feeling like you're
washed.
Becoming.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've all had that feeling, even if you're young, right, and maybe you don't really relate quite too much to like the getting older. Like we've all been there. Like it happens. Like you maybe like you're really really good. Like you're a pro. I don't know. I'm just gonna say a random game. You're a pro Fortnite player, and then the meta changes, and then you're not that good. Like League of Legends, like they change all the items, they rework your characters that you're good with. So it's like, well, I'm fucking washed. Like I'm and so I think the idea is very relatable. That like, what if you had a way to get back to your glory days? Like everyone wants to feel like they're good, whether it be like I'm hot and good looking, and so like people are fawning to me, or like I'm really good at this game, so people think I'm really cool, or whatever it may be. Like I'm pretty sure streamers feel the same way sometimes, or like YouTube creators. Like there's all these hot new creators, and so I'm just kind of washed. So the idea of having that feeling is very relatable. And so you are able to sympathize. You know, a lot of the time we watch horror movies, right? And it's just like, who the hell would ever do that? That's so effing stupid. Why would you make that decision, you idiot? But like this one is like, yeah, that was a dumb decision, but we've all felt washed and felt like, what if we could get back to our glory days, like, and be a better version of ourselves? Like no one wants to feel washed. And, you know, from the outside perspective, we can see that she's not washed. Like, she's a pretty lady. Like, she's had success. She's still like sure, like the people in the industry don't like want her to work like in their studio. But like, I'm pretty sure like even like, you know, well, I won't spoil that part, but like we can like from the outside perspective, you know, like we can all see that she's not washed, but we all feel washed sometimes, even if from the outside people might be thinking, oh, you're like amazing. Like you're not washed at all. But like we all struggle with our own insecurities at times and have those feelings. Absolutely. So, it is a very, and you know, CHILEMEX was telling me that he definitely like got like some emotion, like I don't know, like it was emotion. I don't know, emotionally fulfilling is the correct way to say it, but like you got some emotional fulfillment out of you felt some things, and I mean, I did too. It is really it's a really fun experience in the sense of just like it is a silly movie. Like I don't know if you like this, but like they have like those really interesting sound effects. Like when she gets the thing in the mail from the substance, it's like wow, or it makes like a weird.
So good. Oh my god, the soundtrack.
Yeah, it's so
I love
good.
it.
Yeah, it really hits. Like it is such an experience. Like there's a showtime in 3 hours. I might still go, but anyway, I love this movie, dude. I love this movie.
The soundtrack is one of the points I forgot to bring up in the message I sent you. Yeah. Because, like, I mean, if you can call it soundtrack, sound design, because like the track that plays both during like the trailer, but also during the credits and in some parts of the movie itself, it's perfectly like it's so chilling, like because it's not music, it's a few sound effects with like a percussion behind it, so technically still music, but it really captures the anguish that that stands behind this whole movie and what the protagonist is doing. So that is definitely something.
It's such a movie. It is for me. I would probably you know, Heretic. You said you're not going to get that, like unless Heretic is really damn good. for me, Substance is easily movie of the year. I mean, there's a lot. There's a good handful. I mean, I really like Smile. Obviously, I love Terrifier. Wild Robot was great, although in a completely different thing. In a different vein. I liked the new Alien movie a lot personally.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it was good. Long Legs was good. I mean, there's a lot of good movies. I saw, pretty much every horror movie that came out this year, and there's a lot of movies I enjoyed, but Substance is a movie that it did so many interesting things, and it's such a breath of fresh air compared to like a lot of I don't want to say like similar feeling movies to other movies that, like similar kind of like, oh, we're gonna get you with a jump scare. Like there's no jump scares in Substance. It's just a movie that makes you feel things. Yeah.
It's a movie that scares you without jump scares, and that's crazy.
You'll feel fear. You feel like laughter. Like that was really ridiculous. Like that you'll feel sad. Like it makes you feel so many different things. And it does it all seamlessly. Like it's not jarring to go from feeling scared to feeling like you get a laugh or you get like a whatever moment. Like it does everything. It flows so well, and it's I don't know. It's kind of a long-ish movie, but it goes by quickly. I think
it is like
over 2 hours.
During the final act. Like I didn't think that the final act would go on for so long,
I know.
But it did.
I was like, wow.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Like it didn't drag itself. Like it was perfect. Like the length itself was perfect for all it needed to portray.
Absolutely.
And again, without spoiling too much, the main emotion that I walked out of this movie with was just deep sadness.
Yep.
So it did something to me, and that's
a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
So we got our substance talk in, CHILEMEX. We got a good 15 minutes of substance talk. I mean, I adore that. I'm so glad you got to watch that movie, though. What a film!
Yeah, I'm glad too. I watched it in English too.
Literally, my parents walked out the door today, and I literally locked the door, and then I put on your thingy of talking for 9 minutes about the movie, and it was glorious. So.
How long was that? Like 8 minutes?
And I think something? 9 minutes, I think, or something.
9 minutes. Okay.
It was long. I mean, that's classic you though. Every movie you watch, you give me like that. I feel like that's like your hot spot. Like you get to 9 minutes, you're like, I better stop talking because they're all like 9 minutes.
And in those 9 minutes, there's a lot of uhs and ahs. So I tend to lose myself talking sometimes, but
there's a lot to think about, and there's. I mean, it's hard to. Trust me. Every podcast episode, I go, shit, I should have talked about this. So it's very easy to have in general things that you want to talk about, and then you forget, but it's okay.
Yeah,
that's the beauty of talking with someone, because I just reminded you about the sound, which I love the sound in that movie. It really is underrated. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, like even if it's not it's not the kind of music that you're like, wow, I want to listen to this now. Let me put that on Spotify now and listen to this. But which, by the way, it is on Spotify. Because
oh my god, oh god, I'm tempted.
Yeah.
Oh lord.
But it's such a perfect choice of sound and music design for the movie, and it was very jarring is the perfect word for it, and all the actors were great too, especially of course the two main leads perfectly portraying the both the what am I even I can't get into it too much, but like both characters perfectly captured what they were going for. So
they did. And now I'm looking at the showtimes to remind myself that there is a 6 p.m. showtime in 2.5 hours if I want to go. I was gonna go to Terrifier to watch Terrifier for the second time, but I might go to Substance for the third time.
Like that's also like Terrifier for me is completely on another level, because like I recognize that it's not a deep kind of horror movie. Like it doesn't make you think, it doesn't make you like it doesn't really scare. Terrifier doesn't scare me, it disgusts me, of course, because that's we know what we're talking about, and in some ways disgust is also a way to feel scared, because obviously you don't want yourself to be in the situations that the Terrifier victims find themselves in. But like it's a less pretentious kind of movie. and but I still freaking loved Terrifier 3. Like,
So good.
and even though like I gave it 3 stars out of 5 on Letterboxd,
Whoa!
just because. Yeah, no, wait, hold on. There's an explanation because again, I recognize that it's a kind of horror that doesn't need to do much to impress, because it's just, they could do a 2-hour long gore fest and it would still be entertaining.
Art could literally go anywhere. I wouldn't care. He could go to the freaking grocery store. He could go to the freaking wherever.
Exactly.
Whatever setting he's in, I will watch it. Like literally anywhere.
And that's the fun part of it, because it was so entertaining and so fun in a deeply fucked up way.
Yeah.
Just to put it lightly. And it was a very fun watch. And again, I'm not a movie critic. I will watch anything you throw my way and I will probably enjoy it. Yep. So yeah, Terrifier was a lot of fun.
See, aren't we psychopaths? When didn't you like how my, like me talking about like how, oh, I love Substance, it's such a great movie, I say gleefully, in this fucking deeply disturbing, dark, sad movie, and I'm just like, hee, I love this. We're so fucked up. Literally, I just think about that all the time, like me gushing to CHILEMEX about Terrifier and Substance. Here's me, the little guy who's preaching positivity, and then I'm just like, oh, this really sadistic, dark movie. Oh, it's so good.
Hey, that's the main thing about some horror movies.
That's the great thing about having an escape. Like, that's not obviously like IRL or anything like that. Like, I would never want anything like that. But like in the media, it's so cool.
Yeah, like even in a movie like Terrifier, like some scenes were very hard to watch.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But I still found myself watching them, like laughing, like maybe with my. But my hand over my mouth.
When I watched the end of Terrifier, or not Terrifier, of Substance for the first time, and I was in that theater, and I was just like laughing, like how ridiculous the end was, and I was just like, oh my, this is so.
Oh my goodness.
This is just what am I watching? Like, and you're just thinking to yourself, like, wow, I am fucked up in the head. How much I'm enjoying this crazy ass movie. Yeah. I'm just like, I'm a psycho.
Exactly.
So good though. So good.
Which, speaking of which, that reminded me that Terrifier 3 over here in I say in Italy, but I think it's more like a Europe thing. It got the rating, that like the highest rating you can get, as in like not rating, sorry, like the classification thing. It's like you can't watch it if you're under 18 years old.
Yeah, we have that. We got it too. It's called NC-17, which I think you have to be 17. I think not 18, but yeah, we got that too. Yeah,
which is extremely rare, even
so
for
rare.
The goriest horror movies.
Yep.
So
I don't know of another movie that had it. Yeah, it's crazy.
So. And I think that's justified, to be honest.
I'm just glad the movie had so much success. Like, it's made a lot of money.
Oh yeah, it made many times its budget, so we're probably seeing a lot more of it.
Yeah,
in the future.
baby. Hey,
I'm
so it's such a good Halloween tradition. It's literally like playing Alone in the Dark. Like, it's no one's gonna say like, oh, this is the greatest art form of all time, but it's just so silly and fun.
It's fun. Yeah, it's great.
Like, I could play the greatest AAA horror game made in 2024 that's like masterfully crafted, or I could watch Edward Carnby fall down a fucking like a little crack in the wall and go, oh.
Whoa. What's more fun?
That's a masterpiece right there.
I agree, 100%.
So good.
But I love horror movies.
Me too, CHILEMEX. I'm glad we get to bond over that all the time. So good.
And I wasn't always like this. When I was younger, I was like, oh, I don't want to watch horror movies. They're scary.
When you were younger, you're normal. Now you're a psycho.
Maybe, yeah, that's the truth. That's the situation. Oh boy.
But thank you for taking my suggestion, and thank you for enjoying it. I'm glad you did.
Oh yeah, I absolutely thank you for hyping it up so much, because after I saw the trailer, I was like, okay, yeah, this seems cool,
okay.
But I might have completely skipped it if it wasn't for your constant hyping it up. So,
yeah. I'm glad that they actually showed it, because I have there's a lot of movie theaters here, obviously, but there's like 2 that I go to, And the one that I usually go to didn't have it for very long. Like the first time I watched it there. But then after that, they got rid of it like right away, and it was like only at the farther theater, which if it was only there to start, I probably maybe wouldn't have made the effort to drive farther. You know, I would have just, watch something at the theater close to me. But since it was at the closer theater for a little bit, I watched it once, and then I was like, now I've been driving to the far away theater to watch it because it's the only theater that has it, but it's worth it. It's so good. So
it was so worth it.
Yeah, it's good. I'm thankful that they had it for a little bit there because if it was there, I probably would have watched like 10 times if it was at the close theater for longer. it's fair. And I feel like you can pick up a lot. Like I've been involved in there's some good discussions on it on Reddit. Like I've been reading, and I've really been diving into like other people's thoughts on the movie, and I've really been enjoying hearing other people talk about it. And it honestly, unanimously, people really, really like it. So I'm glad.
Yeah,
I'm glad.
It does seem like the kind of movie you can get a lot from, even on rewatches. Like maybe on a
little
rewatch,
details. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You can pick up some things that you might have missed the first time because you were like too busy looking at whatever the heck was going on. So
exactly. There's a lot. I mean, it stimulates your senses with like interesting music and like very crazy visuals, and like I'm sure there's still a lot for me to see too. So maybe maybe someday we'll have a Raichu Ravine showing of it, but maybe not. I don't know.
Oh, yes.
I don't know if anyone is psychopathic enough to watch that with us.
We'll put a content warning on the door. We're like, hey, we're watching a movie, but keep in mind it's kind of fucked up.
You might have to be a psycho to watch this with us. Oh God! Maybe on your birthday next year we'll alienate. Like this year, I was like, I'm gonna choose a movie that like anyone, because I remember like even Kato was like, I don't know if I want to watch like a horror movie, and I was like, this is an easy one. Like there's no real, there's jump scares in Stay Alive, but not that much. Like it's not that scary. Crazy. So I was like, anyone could watch this, but The Substance is gonna be very, you're gonna be a little fucked up in the head to watch it with us. Okay, I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, if I know Kato, I don't think they would watch this.
I don't blame them.
They could barely watch Smile 1, so
I'm not even sure who would watch it with us. I'm trying to think of who would even want to watch that fucked up movie with us, but I don't know. Maybe there's some fucked up horror fans in our community that we don't know about.
How does Kel handle gore?
I mean, that's the person I thought of, but he might be able to enjoy it for the ridiculousness of it. And make jokes, you know, like when something's so over the top, like Kel would probably like Terrifier because it's so over the top, ridiculous. He would have humor, but I don't know, guys. Maybe we'll have a movie night someday, but we'll see.
I need to make like a proper like movie night horror channel thingy. I'll work on it. Never mind.
Did you do your Letterboxd for Substance yet?
I did, yes.
And your rating was?
Gave it, I think 4.5 stars.
Okay, that's good. All right, good.
Yeah, 4.5 stars. Don't ask me why it wasn't 5.
I mean, that's fair.
Because, like, to give a 5, it really needs to like. I mean, I'm very generous with my votes. I'm not gonna say like, I don't give 5s because I give them all the time.
You gave Wild Robot a 5.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna. I would never backtrack on that, but
it deserves.
Yeah, like I think there's one or two things I would have done better. Not that I would have done, but I would have liked better in The Substance, but nothing that keeps it away from like a solid, like
very
8 out of 10
good score. Yeah.
So, yeah. Yep.
Well, CHILEMEX, I think we're coming down. Yeah, you need to go and rest your voice. You've talked too much. You're not used to being a yapper like this. But I
enjoyed it.
We got a long. I mean, this is like a pretty long episode. We're pushing 2 hours 45 minutes. So we're doing. We spent half an hour talking about The Substance. I thought we were done, and then it's time for the Substance talk, baby.
Is that like half an hour of The Substance, half an hour of Kingdom Hearts, half an hour of
Spyro?
Yeah.
Oops. Well, I know a lot about one of those things, so you know.
That's true. Yeah. But yes, I think that's a good
note to end on. Kids, go watch The Substance as long as you're of the age 17 or older.
17. Wow.
Well,
yeah.
I mean,
Over here it's 14 or older. So
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
you can be younger here.
Okay, yeah. If
Come
you're
to
in Italy, go watch it. Yeah, wow. So is that like, because we have rated R, which is like 17 here. So that's
Uh-huh.
what are the ratings you guys have? Because we have G, which is like for anyone, PG, which is like like not as like nice as a G movie, but PG would be like most Pixar movies or something. Like it's pretty fine. Like there's maybe like an innuendo or something silly, but like not anything bad. PG-13 is like for 13, and that's when there's like curse words and stuff. And then R, which is 17, which is like most horror movies and stuff.
Okay, over here it's much easier. Let me explain.
All right.
We have 4 ratings. The first one is everyone, of course.
Okay, yeah.
The second one is recommended for 6 years or older, which means that technically you could bring your 5-year-old son to watch this movie, but it's not recommended because there might be some like light swearing, and like mild violence. For example, like Deadpool versus Wolverine was 6+.
Oh my God! What?
Yeah.
What the hell?
A lot of people were surprised about that, but
oh my gosh, that's like an R here. I'm pretty sure.
But no, that's how it was over here, and some parents did complain about that. But we were like,
it's a rated R here. That's a 17 or older for the U.S. Goddamn, 6 years old. Holy shit!
How the heck did that happen?
Oh my God.
Well, obviously, we were always like, hey, we don't do the ratings. And then we have like 14 or older, which means that you cannot get in if you're not 14.
Oh, okay.
And you can only get in if you're at least 12 if you walk in with a parent or legal guardian.
Okay.
So, yeah. Gotcha. And then there's 18 or plus, which, again, you can't walk in if you're not 18 or if you're 16 with a legal guardian.
Okay.
So, like, 14 is like Smile 2, and 18 is Terrifier.
Right, so
18 is very rare, but
I got you. Yeah, very interesting. Wow. We have a lot of rated R movies, so that's very interesting. Yeah. Wow. Good to know. Wow, that is really funny that Deadpool is a 6-year-old. What the?
Yeah, and it's funny because the first 2 Deadpool movies were 14+, but the third one was 6. So I don't know. I guess Disney paid a lot of money.
I only watched the newest one time, so I don't. But I'm pretty sure there's probably a lot of violence and swearing, if I had to guess. But I don't remember specific moments, but I'm pretty sure there was probably a lot.
Yeah, I haven't watched it myself, but I have heard parents being like, how can you rate this 6+? And I'm like, ma'am, we don't do the ratings. It's the Italian minister of culture or whatever. So
I'm just a random guy here at the movie theater. Okay, please.
Exactly.
Don't yell at me.
So yeah.
All right. Well, I think we're done, CHILEMEX. 2 hours, 41 minutes, and 30 seconds of delightful conversation. I thought we covered a lot of talking, and I don't know. I enjoyed having you. I hope you enjoyed yourself as well.
I had a blast.
Yeah, it was great to have you. I'm sure someday in the future, we'll get you back on. Maybe someday we'll do like a panel someday, like where we have like multiple people on, and we can all. I don't know. That might be fun. But
I would love that.
That's a good idea. So I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'm still, like I said, I'm learning how to be a podcaster. So we're just kind of going with the flow, and we'll just hopefully keep getting better. And but yeah, so thank you, people who asked questions. Game Worker, you asked a lot of good ones for CHILEMEX, definitely.
Thank you.
But yes, thank you everyone, as always. Yeah, for taking the time. And CHILEMEX, any final thoughts before we say goodbye to our adoring audience here?
Well, yeah.
All right, we got another 30 minutes. He's gonna.
No. I'll keep it quick. Like aside from the obvious, like thank yous to everyone who asked questions, and also everyone who just listens to this, and a even more obvious thank you to you, Raichu, for having me on this thing, because I'm not saying this now just to butter you up or anything, but like this has been like a lovely thing to listen to, and to just like, I didn't think I would be able to keep up with it, in the sense that like 2 hours at least every week is something that I normally wouldn't be able to easily dedicate my not time to, but just energy to, let's put it like that. But I did so far, even if like some days it takes a little bit longer than others, but it's been an excellent background for my 3 days, or my days when I am grinding on Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories.
Yeah.
That's my main activity for podcasts. And but yeah, no, it's like you've been doing an incredible job. At,
Thank you.
Like, you've always been good at talking. That's no secret, but doing it continuously every week for 2 hours or more, because let's not forget that the first episode was 4 hours long.
So that was a marathon. Yeah, I had to cut us off there. We were pushing. We were gonna alienate the audience if we got to 6 hours. Shoot.
But no, every episode has been very fun to listen to and very entertaining. All kinds of interesting topics, both the deep ones and the more lighthearted ones. So yeah.
I appreciate it. I'm very happy. No. I get a lot of really nice feedback from people, and for me, I think I was telling Game Orca this actually, but like for me, it's been a really nice opportunity, because on the streams we always, at least I always try to, and this has always been my goal since we started doing it a lot during the pandemic. My goal was, well, we're gonna have something that people they don't have to feel the stress of real life. We're not going to get into serious topics. We're just going to have fun, and no serious stuff talked about hardly ever, really, honestly, right? And so this has been a great outlet for me to talk about like my feelings and get emotional and get sad and just like be like open and like vulnerable. I mean, we talk about vulnerability a lot. Like I can be on here and be vulnerable, and I don't have to. And for the people, like, it's kind of like content warning. Like if like hearing someone be sad or vulnerable like might upset you, you don't have to listen, right? Whereas like with the stream, people feel kind of more obliged, I guess, to like be there and stuff. So like I prefer to keep it positive. But like here, if like some people want to hear a more vulnerable side of me, or like to hear all kinds of thoughts, not just like good times and happy times, but like, hey, here's what I'm going through right now. And like it's been a nice outlet for me. And a lot of people have told me that they've got a lot out of it, whether it be just like entertainment, like listening, or if they actually, wow, you mentioned this point, and that actually, like, so many people have said, like, wow, you mentioned this, and like that hits home for me, and like it helped me a lot. Like you saying that, like, and that's kind of something I've been going for, is like if I mention something, like maybe someone else has felt that way too, and it's like, wow, like just having the idea that like you're not alone in feeling certain ways, or like thinking about certain situations a certain way, or feeling bad or scared about a certain thing, or like whatever it may be. It's nice. I feel like it's nice anyway to hopefully connect with people and, have a way for people to feel like, yeah, like I'm not alone. Like in this, like even Raichu feels like that, because like, again, in the stream, it's mostly positive. We're all having a good time. So it's good I think it's good for people to see like, yeah, you can still like be positive like in your general life, and like be outgoing, positive and happy and stuff, but like everyone feels no one is actually like 100% of the time everything's going great, happy, things, sometimes you feel bad, and then like that's not a bad thing, like that's okay, like we all do. So that perfectly catches like what I've been feeling towards this podcast, because like it's both, again, entertaining to listen to, and also just you might get something out of it too.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely did get something, like aside from the questions I asked, because obviously if I ask a question, I'm hoping to get something out of it, but even like from the things that other people asked, or just from the various tangents that we all get into sometimes, it's been very illuminating, even like in daily life. So you've been doing a great job at
I appreciate it. Yep, we'll keep at it. It's been a good outlet for me, and a lot of people have got a lot out of it, so hopefully we'll continue. We've got at least 2 more special guests who will be joining us this year. And then nice. I mean, there's not that, when we think about it, right, how many episodes are left in the year? Maybe 7 more if I'm doing the quick math or something, because there's like less than 2 months left of the year, so maybe like 6 or 7 more episodes. And so we'll be right into the new year, and we'll see where it takes us. But
it's basically Christmas.
It's Christmas. Whoa!
Oh my god!
I mean, I already did I did the winter intro on. Oh, you weren't there. Oh, I did the winter intro on Sunday, and everyone yelled at me because I did the winter version, and everyone was like, "What the hell?"
No, I mean, Halloween was over, so
Yeah.
you're legally allowed to
Merry
have the winter
Christmas,
intro.
November
Merry
2nd,
Christmas.
baby.
I agree. That I would have done the same. So
I love it. I just love
endorse that.
Christmas. I had to do it. I've been waiting all year. You know, that feeling where you're waiting for Christmas to come back. It's been too long.
Yeah.
We got our Christmas back. But
so true.
Anyway, thank you, CHILEMEX. I appreciate you being here, and looking forward, as always, to your great questions, and looking forward for the world to see this episode in. Well, today's Thursday, so in about 3 days from now. So
3 days.
Hooray!
Wow. Oh heck, that's gonna be epic.
Very epic.
Thank you again for having me. It's been an honor. It's been fun, and looking forward to the future episodes too. As always.
Very much. All right, guys. Well, thank you for watching episode 7. As always, by the time you see this, we'll be opening the new form for questions for next week. So feel free to get them in, and you can ask me about Kingdom Hearts and Spyro since CHILEMEX won't be here, and I'll be happy to give you my great answers.
I'll be in the comments.
All right.
Take care. No, rock.
All right, guys. Bye.